Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Eaton Grange Estate, episode 5. We have our downstairs cast in the waiting. How are you guys doing today?
Good.
Fantastic.
Yay! But before we get started, I have some, things that we have to get out of the way. So first and foremost, we would like to thank our supporter, which is the one and only Roll20. We really appreciate them supporting us and all that we do. I don't know where my image went for them. Oh, here it is. There we go. The lovely logo that is Roll20. It kind of matches our colors, so it's a vibe. Like it was meant to be.
Good color choices.
Yeah, it was meant to be. But if you watch our Thursday Ascension show, we do use it quite a bit. We have a lot of macros that we show off. We do a lot of map and lighting stuff. So if you're ever wondering, how are they doing this magic and sorcery? That is how we are doing it, through Roll20. And not only can you use it for dice and rolling games, you can also use it for card games or board games. Like you can use it for all kinds of things. So whatever works for you, they got you. And you can make custom character sheets and all kinds of jazz. Maybe someday we'll see a Good Society sheets in there or something. I don't know. But with that, I would also like to just tell you the best ways to support us. And of course, the first and foremost is over on our Patreon, which right now we have the Ascension character sheet for Acolyte Bridget Rosenworth. So if you've ever been curious about that character who kind of showed up in the last few episodes of Ascension, you should go check it out. And of course, the stats for Sith are coming, which was one of the big bads that we battled. It was insane. So if you didn't see it, you should go back and watch it. And of course, new Eaton Grange letters are out every Friday, and I'm sure the lovely cast today will write some fantastic ones. And if you've seen the ones that haven't already out, some of them will not be revealed on this episode. And I believe there might be a couple from other episodes that have not been out yet too. So you're very much in the know of things that are not from the live show yet, if you've been keeping an eye on reading those. And of course, you can subscribe to us right here on Twitch if you're watching us live, or even if you're not watching us live, you can come over to Twitch and subscribe, and that will give you access to our videos in advance, as well as access to our emotes. And if you're a YouTube member over on YouTube, you can also get access to those emotes. And whether you are a YouTube member, a Twitch subscriber, or a patron, you get access to our private Discord where you can chat with us. There's been some interesting theories and thoughts, and I always love reading them. Some of them were like, oh, we wish we would have come up with that. But others were like, ooh, they know. Or we're like, oh, they're way off. So it's always exciting to see what people think about the drama and romances and whatnots. And of course, we know that not everyone can support us in a monetary way. So please don't. Please take care of yourself first and foremost. But there's a lot of ways to support us that are free, like watching us live right here on Twitch. All those numbers of people make a difference for us when it comes to sponsorships, getting access to new games and things of that sort. So please continue to watch us live. And of course, if you're watching us live, make clips. If you find moments where you're like, this is hilarious or epic or emotional or whatever it may be, make clips for us, because you can only do those live. It's very weird. But we really do appreciate it. And you may see your clip featured as one of the clips in our social media posts. And of course, social media. You can follow us over on Twitter and Facebook. Like, share, comment, retweet, all of that jazz. There's a tweet right now if you want to go retweet it. And of course, you can just watch us live on YouTube, subscribe over there, like, comment, all of those things. Everything goes into the algorithm that allows us to either get more people to see our lovely stories and characters that we share through these shows, and it allows us to make more of them as we go forward. And with that, I'm going to hand it over to Haley, aka Story Brewers, to take us on the adventure through the Eaton Grange estate.
Hello, and welcome back to Eaton Grange. So today, as always, we are playing Good Society, the Jane Austen RPG. We can collaboratively tell a story that's like a Jane Austen novel. And in particular, we are playing an expansion called Downstairs at the Abbey. which is created to tell upstairs, downstairs stories exactly like this one. Today we are going to open our show somewhere that we haven't yet had a chance to take a look at. So Eaton Grange is in the region of Hertford, England, which, you know, some might call Hertford a sleepy place, or quiet, or provincial. It's not known for its great cultural or artistic achievements or literary works yet. But what it does have is a circular called the Hertford Herald, which is run by a dedicated staff of people who wish to bring the best in Hertford news to those in the area. And the assistant editor of the Hertford Herald is Percival Blakely, and he has received a lot of letters lately. What does Percival look like when he's working? What does his office look like?
Percival's office is decorated immaculately. It's very clean. There's like books lined up. Just all of his favorite books are very carefully placed. It almost looks like a library. And there's just bookshelves and bookshelves of carefully categorized books. He's got a very big wooden desk that has everything in its place, and an inbox and an outbox, and just probably sits there and is reviewing over the Hertford Herald, doing a little bit of a review before the next print day.
So the top letter in Percival's inbox is from Agatha Crow, somebody who works at the Eaton Grange estate. I'm not sure whether Percival has met them before. B, if you want to read that one for us.
I don't have my glasses for Agatha, so floppy hat is the style.
This is
no
weekend
suspenders. Agatha. Yeah, you know, she gets one day off and she spends it in the park. But when she's not spending her time in the park with a floppy hat, she's working hard. And Agatha is really quite beholden to the Countess of Hertford. Therefore, she wrote a letter, I'm just vamping until I find it, that says specifically, oh, here's my document. It's not in my document. Oh no.
I sent it to you.
Thank you.
No problem.
For the eyes of Mr. Percival Blakely, it has come to my attention that you and Mr. Chimney have been in communication. Please understand that it is strictly prohibited, underlined many times, to publish any information about the Eaton Grange. I believe that this emerald ring will serve as encouragement to become engaged, and perhaps that this belonging of mine might steer you in a direction that does not include publishing works by one of our staff. It is past time for a reputable young man like yourself to have a wife by his side. Respectfully, Miss Crow.
And I assume a ring kind of like rolls out and like lands on the
Yeah,
copy of the
it's chunky.
that Percival was reviewing.
Old but chunky. It's definitely like a ring that belonged to many generations.
Haley, if you can turn your mic up a little. Yeah.
I think it would just be shock as I'm reading this letter. And just like as I open it, the sound of a ring hitting wood and kind of dinging around, and then looking at this like, is this a family heirloom? Like just a lot to consider in that letter.
Oh no, Haley froze. I can guess maybe what Haley was going to say next. We probably have more letters for Mr. Blakely.
Move on to the next letter. Indeed,
Okay.
We do have more letters for Mr. Blakely. For the when you don't know what to do and an emerald ring falls out of a letter, you go into the next letter. Isn't that what you do?
Yeah, I think I would smooth out this letter, like kind of the folds in it and put it to the side and place the ring on top of it. And just that's scary to have this like very valuable ring just sent through the post to me. So yeah, I'm just gonna move on to the next letter.
The next letter is also from Eaton Grange. And it says, "Dear Percival, where might one be able to find the fancy fluffy shoes that everyone is talking about? Asking for reasons. Angus. Thanks a million."
See, I'm getting conflicting things now where it's, I'm like, maybe, I mean, we're working on a fashion article, so this is good to know. And I will place this note next to the other one.
And as if that wasn't enough, underneath that is yet a third letter from Eaton Grange.
Is it harassment at this point?
This one at least is from Grace. So it's perhaps more welcome than the other two. I mean, I can only guess.
Saved the best for last.
And it says, "Dear Percival, I write to you with delightful news. Next week, the children are going to stay with their aunt, who's recently returned from the continent, which means I am possessed of 3 days off. Therefore, I will unashamedly burden you with a request that we might take that trip to London of which we spoke. Where we might go and what we might do there, I leave entirely to your hands, as I am a complete stranger to the city. Though, I would very much like to go to Vauxhall Gardens and see the fireworks and entertainers. And of course, the Temple of Muses at Finsbury Square. They say it's one of the biggest bookstores in England. In truth, I ideally need some time away from Eaton Grange, and I do think this will be the perfect distraction for my mind. When it is night here, as it is as I am writing this, it is as if a dark cloud has lately covered the brilliance of the moon and stars, and I'd almost forgotten what they look like. Yours, etc., Grace."
Cannot keep his butterflies kind of from fluttering about. And he glances over at the ring and kind of has a moment of, but immediately just pushes aside all the work that needs to get done and starts trying to plan this trip so that when I talk to Grace next or write, I can be like, this is the plan. We've got it all sorted. And I probably will take a beat at some point in the excitement to pick up the ring and look at it closely from Miss Crow. And can I tell from this that it's like a ring that has been passed down for generations? It's like has like
It's
meaning.
dinged up. It's like it's clean, but it's like yeah, it looks like an old ring. Definitely something you would give as maybe an engagement ring.
And I think I make a mental note, or Percival's going to try to talk to Miss Crow at some point if I go by this Eaton Grange. I just have a few questions. But yeah, very excited about this new update from Grace.
And as Percival pulls out maps to start planning the trip from London, there is a knock on the door, and he recalls that now has come the time for an appointment that he made with Chauncey Chimney, also from Eaton Grange.
I grabbed the maps and started push them aside a little bit, but very neatly, and put the note on top. And come in.
Oh, good morning. I'm early, kind of. No, I think I'm late. I'm sorry.
You're fine, Chauncey. Come sit down.
Oh, okay.
How are you doing today?
I'm distracted. Definitely distracted.
How so?
I want to talk to you about this. I've done a lot of writing, but also have you ever heard about anybody speaking about thinking about maybe being in love with you?
I can't say that I've had the pleasure of overhearing that, but it's probably incredibly flattering.
Flattering is a word. What if it was somebody you knew for a very long time and you only thought that you were friends and best friends?
That would be a wonderful thing, don't you think?
No.
I do feel that I'm getting an energy from you that is, you're distraught about this.
Distraught. Ooh, I like that word. I don't use that enough. Distraught. Yes. Yeah, I'm distraught.
Well, just the thing about it is, did you hear? I mean, we deal with gossip in the Herald all the time. Did you hear this? Is this just something you've heard, or how did you come by this scenario?
The window was open, and I heard it. They were whispering. It wasn't meant for my ears, like at all.
Do you do that a lot?
All. I don't not do it.
I'm not judging you. I'm just curious.
Oh gosh, okay. I don't want to get in trouble. I'm already dealing with a lot back at the estate, and I just really want to make myself successful. I really want to do what I should be doing, and that's sharing my work with the world. And I worry that I have a lot on my plate.
I can see that. I guess the question for you is, what does Chauncey want? What is the main purpose that Chauncey's heading towards? Do you want to write? Do you want to work? Do you want to find love?
Eventually. Love is kind of something you read about in books and you see in the theater. You don't really feel it.
You just haven't felt it yet. Love is something that you can't explain, or a book can't really express. You have to experience it, and your heart will tell you. So perhaps what you overheard was not the love that you're looking for.
But how do I face that?
Well,
how do I even begin to confront that? I respect the heck out of Ivy. Don't tell her it's not Ivy, but it's Ivy. But don't say that I told you or
your secret
anything.
Is safe with me. If Ivy was saying this, and you're sure that Ivy said this.
I mean, and is there another chair at your very well manicured office?
Yeah, there would be probably 2 wooden chairs in front of the desk for people to sit and talk, and then a lounger near one of the bookshelves.
Chauncey goes to the lounger, kind of throws his journal on it, and then puts his feet up, trying to keep his boots off the couch. Okay, do you have a minute? 5, 10, 20?
Yes.
Okay.
First we'll get up and come around to the desk and kind of lean on it and cross the arms let's get into this.
So it was night. I said I went to go visit Ivy. I had really great news. I'm probably going to be Lord Victor's footman. It's basically in the bag. But that's besides the point, because I am really successful at mostly what I set out to do. But Ms. Stewart, Ivy, was talking with, oh gosh, this is the part where I struggle, Miss Clark. They were talking about romance and...
Grace.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, you two are
we're friends. Yes.
Yeah, I think you've made eye contact or something. Well, Grace seems to have... Oh, I feel uncomfortable. Miss Clark seems to have some turbulent love feelings. Honestly, I wasn't really listening to what she had to say. It was Ivy's attention that my ears and eyes were on. But they related. They talked about their feelings. Ivy said that she loves me, and I'm supposed to just be normal about that. And they talked some more.
Well, 2 things. 1, Ivy doesn't know that you overheard this, so you can go about your business as if nothing has changed.
No, I can't. Do you see me? I haven't stopped sweating. My palms are sweating. Trying to write with sweaty palms is impossible.
But you're trying to become a footman, yes?
Yes.
You could blame it on that. Just say you're so nervous about how that's gonna go that you just can't focus right now.
That's a good lie.
It's not a lie, per se. Are you nervous about the footman position?
I mean, not really. But also, I'm nervous for different reasons. I might have accidentally got myself involved in something that I shouldn't have. Did you know Lord Victor was a theater man? He was married to an incredible woman who was an actress, beautiful. I put the posters all up in his bedroom.
There were rumblings about that, but no one ever confirmed, just because I don't believe it was in good favor over at the estate.
Oh, no, it was terrible. He basically ran away to marry a woman that nobody knew. But,
I offer a resolve token for Percival to, like, surreptitiously take notes about this. Like,
oh, yeah. Like,
yeah.
It's like, I like to think that Percival has, like, a little bit of a photographic memory, but definitely is just maybe going to go back around the desk and pull out a pen and paper and just kind of like a therapist starts taking a couple notes, very stealth-like.
Chauncey's not looking at you anyways. He's lounging dramatically on the chair, so you're good.
One other thing just before who was Grace talking about?
Oh, I think perhaps not me looking at names because I don't remember everyone yet. I mean, Miss Lydia was brought up. The lady, of course. I didn't. Everybody talks about Lady Lydia, though. That's not.
Oh, yes. How curious.
I mean,
I was just wondering.
You weren't mentioned. I'm sorry.
Like, you didn't hear my name.
No. Maybe Arthur was mentioned. Probably. Dashing.
Mr. Beddington?
Mr. Beddington. Yes. Sorry. He's very familiar with everyone.
Well, this is a lot of information.
Yeah, do you have any questions?
Yes, many. I was wondering, do you want to pursue writing or do you want to be a footman? I guess that's something that you should consider.
Well, both. I can multitask. Lord Victor doesn't need attention all the time. His laundry is not always dirty.
What does a footman do?
Oh, heck. Protect the interests of who I serve. No. Make sure Lord Victor doesn't get into disgrace. No, it's protect Lord Victor's protect the interest of the estate. There we go.
Do you not help him with his daily duties?
Oh, 100%. But I recited that as an answer to that question once, and it didn't go very well.
There's a lot going on at the estate, isn't there?
There's so much. I've been writing a lot of it down, but I see things. I'm often about as a hall boy. My status kind of has me hidden, but I don't go upstairs unless I'm doing footman duties, and the stuff that happens up there is palpable.
I glance over at the note from Miss Crow, just how I'm still taking notes, but a little pang of guilt kind of hits me. I do wonder, are you Ivy, you speak of, do you have feelings for Ivy?
Well, yeah, as somebody that I saw by my side for most of my life, as somebody that would help me whenever I have problems, as somebody that I could talk to. But love? What do I do with that word? I look at it and it's something I can write out. I can't eat it. I can't purchase new boots with love. I can't elevate my status with love. So I struggle to truly understand what to do with that word.
It seems as if maybe love is something that you need to discover in your own time. It's not something you can buy things with, or sadly in our society, there's a lot of status associated with it, but sometimes status doesn't always matter. I see a lot of relationships. Just when we're posting in the Herald about new nuptials, everyone, some seem happy, some seem like it's just what it's supposed to be. So you have to decide what your heart wants, but it seems like writing and footman duties are where your heart's at right now. And that's okay.
Yes. I'm so sorry, Mr. Blakely. What does somebody in my status do? Not to share information that's not mine, because I wouldn't do that. I saw Ms. Clark talking with Miss Lydia just once. It wasn't anything suspicious, but when you give somebody an ultimatum to spend time with them or to reject the love altogether. how I feel like I'm facing something like that.
You feel as if Ivy's doing that to you?
Without telling me, yes.
In a way, it's not fair. Which I can see that since I'm away from it, but I have to admit that I can also see the point of being in love, or something so completely obvious and it makes all the sense in the world, and then someone else just doesn't see it. And it's so deeply frustrating and deeply tiring. And then you start to weigh other options, or you just make a decision that you don't want to lose that person, so you don't pursue it.
But
nobody's perfect.
No,
Chauncey.
Mr. Blakely, this has given me a lot to think of. Oh, my article.
Yes, please. I actually had a request about where to find puffy shoes, so I'm very interested to hear this.
Oh, well, I'm not a manufacturer or anything, but maybe the pirates down by the docks?
Ooh, then we could add that in there.
Sailors, sorry.
Yes. We could do pirates/sailors.
It's got a good appeal. I do talk about pirates in my article.
Ooh.
So
It ties together.
And Chauncey's gonna sit up, maybe like move over to the desk and like put out his journal on your desk, eschewing a couple of books and papers. A new fashion item has made its appearance at the illustrious Eaton Grange. These boots are sure to change the way your neighbors will gaze upon your feet. We have all heard the tales of pirates to the east, brave and terrifying people who have taken their own fate into their own hands. And that is the kind of artful presence that is captured in this footwear. Puffy boots, these once unique water boots, turned into a statement piece. They are the perfect accessory to highlight well-trimmed trousers on a distinguished gentleman or a refined lady. Only the most attractive of people can be convinced of these boots. The power and influence of yourself will rise to an insurmountable proportion. For the citizens of Hartford, puffy boots will be your immediate next purchase, should you wish to win back your family, impress your beau, or simply protect your feet from water. Do not hearken back to pirate shoes. Those are old and outdated. Rather look forward towards the puffy shoes that will make your heart swell and your feet dazzle.
Percival's quiet for a second, very deep in thought, and just slowly turns to you. I'm printing this.
Truly?
It's perfect. We've never done fashion articles, and I think that this is a good start.
It's been very confusing. You should see some of the notes. Whenever I see somebody throughout the day, I'll take notice of what they're wearing, their hair. It's not something I'll tell a lot of folks because I've been bullied about it before, but fashion is just...
No, this is very good. Did you want to be printed under your name, Chauncey Chimney, or did you want to take on a different name? A pen name?
I hadn't thought of that. To protect my status. But I could have fame under the pen name. Oh, Mr. Blakely, you're brilliant. Okay, yes. I want a pen name. I want it to be... I'm not very good at this.
It's okay. We can come up with something.
2 words, 1 word. Like it could be foot. Nope, that's not a good start. I
don't think foot is a good name. How about a name?
Yeah.
We could choose, if you really want to go the foot route, another language. Maybe it sounds a little bit... What's the Spanish word for foot?
In French, I know it's pied. Votre pied. Oh gosh, like I speak languages anymore. Let's do French. French sounds more refined. It's gonna be. Let me just think about it really quickly. Pied. Pied.
Peter Pied.
Done. Peter Pied.
It rolls off the tongue.
Mm-hmm. And it really harkens to my very first article, which is about footwear. Puffy boots.
But I do want to ask you, do you want to be known by Chauncey Chimney, the glory, all of that?
Well,
to your name.
I did. But also, can I be who I am and still work under Lord Victor? Like, can I still work in the Eaton? No. Okay, Mr. Blakely, I've arranged my thoughts. I need the pen name. I need to maintain this position. I can't leave the estate. So much of my content comes from just my daily interactions. Without that...
I do worry, and Percival glances over at Mrs. Crow's letter, that it could cause you problems with your employment.
Yeah. Okay, Peter Pied.
And it can always change later, and a lot of people have pen names, so this isn't anything new. And of course, I'll be compensating you.
Oh, yeah, I knew that. Like a pence or...
Let me see really quick what the going rate is. And I'd scroll through back in the late 1800s. Could we do like 10 pounds, or is that like a lot of money?
That's way too much. I can go live handsomely with that. Give me like,
okay.
Is it like 4 pounds?
Yeah, like 2
That's
pounds.
still
4 pounds.
too much.
Is it okay?
You're rich. You can quit.
We are not good at this.
That's okay. I will give we can hand wave the exactactude of that.
Yeah.
Let's call it in weeks of Chauncey's pay. How many weeks of Chauncey's pay is he gonna get for this?
First of all, write it down on a piece of paper and do the old slide it over to you. That's the going rate right now. And this article is wonderful.
Yeah, no, this is perfect. Do I slide it back to you now?
No, well, I'll just, once it's printed, I will mail you the payment. And yeah, you can keep that as a reference or a bookmark.
Could you mail it under the name of Peter Pied?
I could. There is a slight worry that then they will tie this article back to...
Oh, yeah, I'm not very good at this part. Okay. No, you're right.
I could,
how do I explain
how about I put it as PP?
Yeah, that's brilliant.
It's P period.
Mm-hmm.
In care of Chauncey?
Brilliant. Mr. Blakely, are you always this sly?
Listen, I'm in the print business. We have to be sometimes.
Not only are you wise, but your tactics are cunning.
I read a lot.
Books or news?
Both. I read everything. That's one of the things Grace and I bond over, is we both read a lot.
Huh. That's nice.
And I feel like we'll leave them there, hashing out the details of this payment.
Getting paid. Oh my gosh.
I'm very excited to see this article appear in the Hartford Herald.
Oh gosh. I can't wait to see people wearing puffy boots.
Same.
You bet your buns I'm going to spend a resolve token for people to be wearing these shoes as soon as I can.
Excellent. So we will follow Chauncey walking back through the town. It's I think it's probably about a half-hour walk from the town back up to Eaton Grange along the
nice
winding dirt roads and up the hill, and then finally up the driveway, and then round to the servants' entrance, of course, to get back into Eaton Grange. And as we do, Chauncey sort of slips back into the house to return
back to work.
Perhaps with absence unnoticed by Lord Victor, but we'll see whether anyone else saw them depart. Meanwhile, upstairs, the aforementioned Grace is trying to teach 3 children, trying to encourage 3 children to concentrate on their study of mathematics, both because they need to learn mathematics, this is very important, but also because they have a letter they would like to read and they haven't yet gotten the chance to open it. Finally, Grace sort of everyone is settled. Everyone knows what they should be doing. Surely I can just take one moment to step away and read this letter. So she steps just round the corner out of their view and opens the letter that she has from Ivy. What does it say?
Okay. Should I read it, or are we doing the?
Yes, please
Okay.
read it.
Okay, let me grab it. My dear friend Grace, I was reading one of the recommendations you gave me for a book and felt inspired to write a short story. It put my heart at ease and was quite cathartic, if I'm honest with myself. I am glad we talked the other evening and hope that it was as helpful for you as it was for me. I didn't realize how desperately I needed to get it off my chest about Chauncey, my feelings, and my disappointment. It was a release. I said it out loud. I put it out into the universe, and it was not as scary as when it was hiding in my head. This gave me a lot of time to think. I have resolved that it is time for me to move on from Chauncey, for I much rather would have their friendship forever than a love that will not be realized. Anyway, here is my try at taking pen to paper. Ocean love. True love. Real love is more than a current. It is the way the current flows, in harmony with each other. The waves of life manifest as moments of upset, joy, hardships, and celebration. Those waves are always absorbed back into the ocean, the whole of love. Love will flow with the person who absorbs those waves with you, and currents. Those who fight the current might need time, or they might need to be set free. Trustfully, Ivy. P.S. I am on the hunt of the paper kind. I have already stumbled across one and have placed it safely where it needs to be.
I think sort of as she reads this, Grace gets quite distracted in thought. Her intention to immediately go back to the mathematics slips away very quickly, and she finds herself glancing out the window. And from the window, she can see down in the courtyard that Arthur Beddington and Lady Lydia Ward are having a fencing match of some kind.
Can I play a resolve token? Or wait, what is it that I want to hear your inner dialogue, Grace's inner dialogue right now?
Oh, a monologue token.
I'd like to play a monologue token.
Ooh, I need this too. I need to know what's going on inside that head, because dang, there's a lot happening.
Interesting. Yeah. So I think that Grace is thinking to herself. At first, I think that so Arthur and Lydia are wearing a lot of padding, and there is sort of like a physicality that is amusing about the situation, especially because, as established, Lydia is not, but like this is the first time she's tried out fencing. She is not particularly agile or nimble at the sport, and so I think like there's an adorableness to that that like Grace kind of like, it makes her laugh and kind of smile for a moment. And then her face kind of like falls as she is watching them. And the sort of like, I guess the intensity of the look that they have between each other. And she is thinking to herself, well, she seems to be enjoying herself. Ivy told me that she believes Arthur has real and genuine feelings for Lydia. And I can't help wondering whether Lydia returns them. It is not an alien thought that one might hold affections for two people at the same time. And yet, if that is the case, one ought to be upfront about it. Two options cannot truly be pursued. Lydia has told me that I should not give her ultimatums. That I should wait until somebody dies, perhaps, for us to be together. There is an unfairness to that parallels the unfairness of her and Arthur when Arthur knows nothing of myself and Lydia. It is as if she's using both of us, but to what end I do not know. Everybody warned me against this course of action. Every single person who I talked to told me not to form attachments at the Grange. And this is my deserts for ignoring all of them. I suppose I should have guessed that this would happen. But now I need to make a choice. Do I simply stand back and let eternity roll forth? Or do I abandon the thing that makes me happiest and search for a new happiness? And I think that's what she's thinking.
That just breaks my heart.
And at that moment, coming up the stairs is Ivy. Ivy has had an exhausting morning today. The Baroness is here, which creates extra work for everybody. Lady Porter, the Countess's sister, arrived with some sort of picnic that she had to pick up after. Angus is sick and she keeps having to cover for him. And even worse than that is that she has 2 letters in her pocket that she's been burning to read all day, but there just hasn't been like a single moment to have a look at them. And finally, the opportunity has almost come because today is the day where the clothes get taken into town for repair. And she is the one that usually takes them. But I think as she comes up the stairs, Grace sort of like gestures out the window to Arthur and Lydia fencing together.
I would come into the room and look out. Has Lady Lydia ever done fencing before? I've never seen her do that.
I'd wager not, and I'd say perhaps it is not her forte.
Practice makes perfect, right?
Right. And I think as they're looking out the window, that's the moment that Lydia stumbles and Arthur catches her.
Ivy has a slight pang of, oh, but she doesn't quite know why. Are you doing okay?
I got your letter. Thank you.
I hope you know it was more about me.
Do you still think that... She kind of looks around to make sure there's no one else around at this point in time. And she says sort of quietly, do you still believe that Mr. Beddington's feelings for Lydia are continuing to grow?
I suppose I feel that Mr. Beddington wants it to work, but perhaps in the confusion of what Eaton Grange is, maybe it's not as deep as I originally thought. You know how when you put 2 things together and it's trying to make a puzzle fit, maybe it's more of something like that. It's
Ivy, you are very obviously just trying to be nice to me.
He wrote me a letter and asked me to, at breakfast the other morning when the spill occurred, to speak on his behalf, and doesn't want to ruin any of their connection thus far.
I see.
But perhaps I shouldn't be speaking on this, Lydia told me that she thought that maybe Victor and Arthur went in on it together and that it was done on purpose. I said, of course not. Can you imagine planning something like that?
Well, they seem to have made up at any rate, gesturing to the fallout from the catch outside in the yard.
Well, if I know anything, I do feel that things can change in the blink of an eye. So, this moment in time, I mean, she was going to fall. What was he going to do? Let her hit the ground? That would just be awful. I just see something special with you and Lydia, and I would hate for it to be thrown into the ocean, for lack of a better word.
You are my friend, so I know that can cloud your judgment. But you're with Lydia every day. If you believe she returns his affections, you would tell me honestly, wouldn't you?
Yes, because even though my situation with Chauncey, it's not reciprocated, yours is reciprocated. As much as that pains me to admit, but as I said in my letter, I want to be there for Chauncey. I'm going to support them in whatever they want to do and be the best friend that I can be. But I can see Lydia struggling every day with what she is supposed to do. And I think it's probably, I see a lot and I can tell that she's struggling with this. I believe that she would want to be with you if she could, but she feels that she cannot because of duty. I think she's in a very difficult position. It doesn't make it fair, though.
I suppose that's true. Is it wrong that part of me wishes that she would simply have feelings for Arthur? She's going to have to marry him. She may as well be happy.
Yes, I could see that. It's a testament, though, to how you feel about her. You want her to be happy, despite if you're involved or not. Nobody wins in this scenario. Not even Arthur.
I suppose that's the way of it then. And she kind of closes the curtains. And at that moment, she is interrupted by noises from the children's room. And through the doorway, she can see that Thomas and Sophie have turned their maths books into shields and rulers into swords.
Yes.
And so she sort of rolls her eyes at Ivy and makes her way back into the children's room. And kind of gives a wave goodbye as you can hear her being like, Thomas, Sophie.
Ivy would look in a mirror and see the bags under her eyes and just be like, I can relate. It's just been an exhausting day.
So we're going to follow Ivy as she goes downstairs to fetch the clothes that need to be taken for repair. I think she goes and picks up the clothes from the laundry. The general maid of the house has sorted the ones that are damaged neatly into a pile, and picks them up. And as she's on her way back, just when she thinks she's finally gonna make it out the door and head towards the town, Tom pops his head around the door.
Tom.
Ivy.
Yes? Yes, Mr. McGrain.
You're going to take the clothes?
Yes, if that's all right. I'm sorry I haven't gotten it down there yet. It's just been a very busy day.
We're all busy. Funny seeing you downstairs. I thought perhaps you'd forgotten what downstairs looked like.
Listen, I know that I... Did someone say something?
Oh, you know how it is. Everyone is always saying everything.
It's just nicer up there. And more interesting.
It's all right. it's your job to be up there. It's just, upstairs and downstairs don't mix too well.
Do you really think so? What makes us so different than them, besides money and pretty dresses?
It's not that... We're getting into a serious conversation here. In the middle of my working day. But all right. It's not that we're so different. We're all simply people. It's the way that they think about us, Ivy. The way that they be treating us. They don't think of us as the same
people?
as them. Yes.
Perhaps I'm just overly tired and my walls are not as in place. I just feel Mr. Beddington's so nice to us, and, there are moments where I feel like they do see us as people.
Oh, the amount of times I wanted to have a go at that Mr. Beddington.
What?
When we're just trying to do our job, and he was wanting to start a conversation. We've got work to be doing, and he's there wanting to talk about something or other. It's like he has no idea what we actually do in this house.
It's kind of nice, though. You have to admit, to not just be ignored while you stand on the corner and bring things and clean things and dust things.
I'd rather get on with my job. Without the burden of making conversation with somebody who isn't my friend, frankly. And besides, look at you. Do you want another thing on your to-do list today to babysit Mr. Beddington?
Perhaps I'm speaking out of turn, but honestly, anything than laundry sounds so much nicer. I'm 20 years old, and this is what I'm going to do for the rest of my life? Clean other people's things up? Make sure I get their pretty dresses on, and that I don't get to have any of that. It's just a reminder daily of all the things I don't have.
I think he sort of he takes a long look at Ivy and says, get on your way to town. The walk will do you good. Clear your head.
Yes. I'm sorry, Mr. Mungrain. I wasn't trying to. Ivy just busily picks up the bag and keeps her gaze down.
I like staff who want to be here.
You're right. I'm just very tired. It's been a very long day. I'm very grateful to have a job and to be able to be a part of the estate. Everybody here is so wonderful.
You're okay, Ivy. Get on your way.
Ivy will try to catch his eyes really quick before she puts them downcast and heads into town.
And I think Tom kind of just sighs to himself. He's seen this before with the young staff.
Tom is 50. He's probably had this conversation once every 5 years.
Exactly. So Ivy finally makes it out of the estate. There's just something about the open air outside and the walk through the trees and the grass and the fields down to town that can make you feel a lot better. And of course, while you're walking, it's a perfect time to read the letters that you really shouldn't have received, but you have. So Ivy's got 2 letters in her pocket, one from Lydia and one from Arthur. Which one does she open first?
Oh my goodness.
Oh,
talk about high rollers. You got
oh gosh, that's a hard choice. I think Ivy is taking that walk slower than she should be. So I find a nice tree and I put the laundry down and I sit down at the roots and weigh each letter. I think I would start with Lydia's letter.
Okay, so Lydia's letter to Ivy.
Dear Ivy, I'm ever so grateful that you obliged me with the tales of your family and happiness. Though before I continue any further, I must extend my gratitude to you for aiding me the other day, and I would like to apologize for my demeanor as well. I know it's unlike me to act so, But the day had just begun, and already I had endured far more than expected. On to more topics of delight. I enjoyed the way you spoke of those downstairs in the estate, as if they are family. I think I understand this feeling, as I have friendships that feel as though our blood is different, yet I love them as if they were of the same vein. I do wish we could speak more plainly. It's unfortunate how station and status remain barriers to those who could be better of friends, don't you think? I know I speak untowardly, but I grow weary with long days alone. I know I am never quite alone, but inside my soul sometimes, I wonder what should bring me happiness in days beyond. I beg your pardon for my ramblings. I purely seek to understand others and myself in the mix of it all. Humbly, L. P.S. Do not ever speak of this, or my mother shall have my head, as you very well know.
I just had that conversation with Mr. Morgraine, and this letter is kind of solidifying how I feel, and noticing too that Ivy and Lydia are not so different in a lot of ways, and agreeing that I mean, Lydia would be really good friends if there wasn't a status in the way. And so I'd read it again and just kind of take a minute to think about it. And also the words of Mr. Morgraine echoing. And then slowly folding it up, tucking it safely in one of my pockets, and then turning to Arthur's letter.
Thank you for your responding letter, Ivy. The way your words flow across a page are as if they are spoken. Spoken as one who has experienced love before. I am humbled to say that this is something that has escaped my life experience up until this point, and I am surely still trying to discover what love is as I write at this very moment. It's interesting, having started to take a liking to someone such as the Lady Lydia. It began as a path set forth before me by the Countess herself. An honor, no less, to be asked to court such a lovely and elegant individual, but whom I know so little. To be fully truthful, it was not only duty that allowed me to throw myself into this ever so willingly, but the promise of something as a result, of which I have lacked foremost throughout my life: a home. I've long felt a stranger in this estate, despite having spent nearly all of my years here, throughout which I was bent to the will of duty, class, honor, and the like, due to a feeling I was indebted to the ones who so graciously took me in. But as I've truly started to gain some knowledge as to the person behind the name Lady Lydia, there appeared the same affection a dear friend of mine once described so vividly to me. She is something to wonder about day and night. Her kindness flows off of her like morning dew, feeding life into those around her. Upmost is her compassion and understanding of the life I seem to have been forced to live. Yet still I ponder if this is true love. I'm pulled towards her, certainly, and I respect her greatly. But isn't true love supposed to break you? Pull you into a fury of passion that is unbearable to resist? I do feel as if I love her, one that is growing with each moment I share with her, but I'm uncertain if she feels the same, to which I would hope to guess it is mutual. And as these feelings grow, I cannot think to deny them whatsoever, and I will honor them and her and see how far all of this takes us. However, do stories not speak of love as if it grabs you immediately and nearly forces all manner of will from your mind? It is described as if you cannot command your own mind away from thoughts of that person, no matter what it is that stands before you. Wondering, I do still, if that is not how it is for everyone. The pain of being away from them, or not having such passion reciprocated, can be a curse for sure, if such is truly how love is. Perhaps you could tell me how you have found love to be. I do also want to apologize for calling you by name. I only meant to address you more personally, a respect that I truly feel you deserve. Although, I do know of your habit of being upstairs more often than you should, but do not worry, I'm not one to tell, and actually, that might allow us some more time to speak, which I would so graciously welcome. I will say, you looked very nice at breakfast that morning in which my unfortunate incident took place, with your rosy cheeks and working gown. At least, that was a bright moment of the disaster. And finally, being able to meet your acquaintance was even more so. I do hope you are well, and perhaps we can talk candidly about love in the future. And maybe you could kindly teach me how to avoid tripping and spilling like I did, or at least how to clean affected clothing properly. I do feel a breeze of change is coming over this estate, so best be prepared for whatever should come, shouldn't we? Signed, Arthur. P.S. If it was you who dropped me the letter from Olivia Bed under my door, you have my greatest thanks. If it was not, then I would kindly ask you to not speak of this letter to anyone.
Dang. That was a lot.
Oh my god. What? I'm going to play a monologue token on you, so just prepare. But
Okay.
Go ahead and react, and then words.
Ivy's reading this letter and has now read it probably 5 times and sets it down, looks around her. There's like a river probably running by, maybe a small bridge that she needs to cross soon. It seems to me that Arthur is confused about Lady Lydia, which kind of I didn't expect. We have a lot more in common than I thought, of the troubles of love and not being obviously given back by the people we want it to be. I find it quite flattering that he said I looked lovely the other morning at breakfast. This frock is not the most flattering, especially compared to Lydia's dresses. And I hope he doesn't know that I stole that rouge from Lady Lydia, though Lady Lydia does let me borrow it. What is this? Talking more upstairs. The danger of this. What is this feeling that I am having? For I'm not thinking about Chauncey as much at the moment. And it's been replaced with thoughts of Arthur. Is that bad? Am I bad? No, it's okay. Maybe this is okay. But Mr. Morgraine said to not fraternize with anyone upstairs, and here I am thinking about fraternizing with someone upstairs. Mr. Beddington, no less. I do not want to hurt Lydia, though. She's been kind to me. I have a lot to think about, but for once it's nice to not be thinking about the pain of unreciprocated love from Chauncey. I better get to this. I should hide this letter. Ivy will stand up and very carefully fold this, and she's like blushing as she's like picking up the laundry to head into town and just taking a moment of, did that really just happen? Did this letter happen? And then is already planning on, when we're done with work for the day, rereading this message and deciphering it deeper.
Excellent.
Oh my goodness. That was probably the best letter of the entire, it was salacious in its own way. Like, I did not expect that.
I didn't expect that either.
Mr. Beddington.
Meanwhile, back in the estate, as Tom watches Ivy sort of head out the door, he then goes around the corner to find Mrs. Crow in her housekeeper sitting room, knocks on the door.
Yes, you may enter.
Mrs. Crow.
What can I do for you?
I've gotten word that there's going to be a homecoming ball at the estate to celebrate Lady Jane Porter's return. The
Oh, my
Countess's
word.
sister.
When? What do we need? Tell me everything now.
Well, it's to be in 2 weeks' time. Mind you, this was Lady Jane's idea, not the Countess. She always had a way of talking the Countess round that nobody else has.
Oh, indeed.
So I should say that anything the Countess has written me now, as far as instructions, is sure to be changing when Lady Jane gets her hand on it.
Very well. This is going to give me a lot to prepare. Where is everyone?
It does seem like that today, doesn't it?
Awfully empty.
Still, you and I had better get our heads together about what we're going to do about it and how we're going to prepare.
I think that is a good idea. And Mr. Mulgrain, if I may have your ear for just another moment.
You always have my ear, Agatha.
I worry about some of our staff. I feel like they're not performing their duties as written.
Who in particular is concerning you? I think he'll sit down. He'll take a chair from the side of her sitting room, sort of drag it along her. So he's sitting a intimate but not inappropriate distance away from her.
We're both like facing one direction, so we have to like turn to each other, can't face each other. Well, Miss Stewart, for instance, I haven't been able to keep track of her whereabouts. I worry that her relationship with Lady Lydia is a little too personal. And Mr. Beddington keeps speaking to our staff like they're equals, and I won't stand for it. But I don't know how to change any of that. I've tried to scold Chauncey, and he doesn't listen. And Chauncey is also another one I need you to keep an eye out for. With Lord Victor's influence, I worry that one is going to be more problematic than he already is.
Well, let me address your concerns one by one, Agatha.
Please.
In regards to Ivy, she's just going through a time. You know how it is with these young'uns.
I do, but I wish they wouldn't be so loud about it.
Well, she hasn't crossed any lines yet. If she does, we'll let her know about it.
Why can't they all be like Ash? That young man is brilliant.
Finally, I've heard you say so.
Well, now that I've seen all the chaos that Chauncey has caused, it's made my belief in Ash's abilities just rise. He's sturdy, that one. You always know what you're getting. No surprises.
So if I said I thought that Ash might be the better pick for valet, you would agree with me? You would write to the Countess with me on the point?
I would add my opinion, because I think it might truly be in our best interest. That young Chauncey was so promising. And yet, that poster catastrophe, I'm never going to forget that. It's an abomination to walk by, seeing all that theater plastered up on the walls.
Still, it was quite the event.
You're
right. It shouldn't have happened without Lord Victor's orders, of course.
You know what? Ash, I think, is the one. I think I will write in.
Very good.
Angus, my love, you have convinced me. I do enjoy our talks.
And Tom sort of he's got a bit of a warm smile. And then he notices that there is a letter that sitting on unread still sitting on Agatha's table from the Countess.
Yes, I haven't quite got to that yet. I just sat down for a tea.
What does she say? Read it.
Well, let's find out together. I know I can trust you.
Good. And she opens the letter, and it says, Mrs. Crow, I have lately heard mention that my daughter has been receiving another suitor. I must admit I was greatly surprised by this news, as while we have many guests at Eaton Grange, I was not aware that any had the intention to court Lady Lydia. Still, it stands to reason, as her many good qualities and place in society certainly do recommend her. Nevertheless, the fact that I was not appraised of this suggests to me that perhaps this suitor is not worthy of my daughter. I'm well aware that you and your staff see all that occurs in this household. If you could kindly find the identity of this person and let me know of it, I will be happy to award the staff the afternoon off for Our Lady's Day as thanks. Yours in thanks, Lady Hartford.
My, oh my. Now this is a letter, isn't it?
That's certainly very interesting.
I'm not familiar with anybody courting Lady Lydia other than Mr. Beddington.
Neither am I, and we ought to be ashamed of ourselves, Mrs. Crow, for that.
Seriously, I've heard everything. Every wall. I know the secrets that they tell. And this? How have I missed this?
Shall we make a little bet?
Oh, you know I'm a betting woman. Just don't tell anybody.
Of course. You talk to your people, and I'll talk to my people, and whoever can find out the identity of this suitor first will be the winner.
Ooh, and what do we win?
Well, we all know that there are duties in the house that neither of us would rather attend to. A free pass. Whoever wins can instruct the other person to do something for them.
Mr. Mulgrane, why I never. I think this is a brilliant bet. And Miss Agatha, Miss Crow takes, oh my God, words. Agatha extends her hand for like a good handshake.
Yeah, and Tom will extend her hand and kind of like laughs and gives it a shake that's more like, hearty than probably Agatha intended. And he stands up and he says, "Very good. Mind you, don't be a sulk when you lose.
No promises.
And write to the Countess about Ash, and also that we need to catch up about the ball."
Yes, I've already got to begin planning that ball. Ash first, because I do not want to forget that young man. We need somebody respectable in place. None of this
exactly
frivolous stuff.
And with that, he gives her like a little bit of a cheeky smile and makes his way out the door.
Okay. Sorry. Can I play Resolve Token?
Uh-huh.
I've been trying to figure out who I want to overhear this.
Ooh.
I think I want Arthur to overhear this.
What part exactly?
The bet that you two are making.
Ooh.
That's so funny. So meta side, this is a rumor, and this is a rumor that Arthur started?
No, it's not a rumor that Arthur started, but it is a rumor, yes, that there is a mysterious suitor trying to court a Lady Lydia.
Okay.
Because I don't think he knows that quite. I mean, I don't think so, but this kind of confirms it a little bit.
The other option would be for Milton to overhear it, since he's more likely to be downstairs.
Yeah, I was just trying to think of who would most likely be in the vicinity.
Yeah.
I mean, we know Arthur visits the kitchen, sneaks ice cream at night, probably snacks in the daytime.
Perhaps, I mean, because Milton or Angus, but I feel like Milton may be a good one to also overhear it.
I like that. I like of course I'd love the idea of Arthur being able to hear that, 'cause that's immediate consequences, but Milton, there's a little bit of work to kind of work through with that kind of information to receive.
Yeah, I think, because it's Victor's friend. Yeah, I think that could be interesting.
Yeah, that could be interesting from both angles, right? I'll pop it in Milton's Spire.
Even it getting back to Victor would be interesting as well.
Yes.
We've had a bet between Tom and Agatha to find out who
This is good
Lydia's
gossip.
suitor is.
I'm
Agatha
surprised
would never
these two
admit
are
it.
doing a bet like this.
Right? They've been in
I
this
don't-
household for so long, though, so like they have to find some way to entertain themselves.
They certainly do.
I love that it's so like they're doing it for the lady, it's for the countess, it's official
Of
business.
course.
But really, oh my goodness, I love it. That is a excellent resolve token.
And speaking of young Chauncey, he sent a letter of his own to Tom, didn't he?
Yes.
What was in that letter?
This one I have access to quite quickly. Tom, I require your expertise and wisdom on the topic of love. I do not know if there is value in love when duty is a priority, but you have family, so you may speak plainly of your trials and tribulations. I eagerly await your assistance. Respectfully, Chauncey.
Tom is like, oh.
Chauncey looks up to Tom now.
So I think Tom will take the chance to talk to Chauncey like at the end of the staff lunch.
Yeah.
As like the scullery maid is sort of like clearing the plates away, and like everyone is sort of drifting off back to work. He'll sort of stop Chauncey and be like, Chauncey.
Yes, I didn't do it though. If it's something bad.
I think Tom laughs despite himself.
Oh, okay, that's good laughter. That means I didn't.
So someone else plastered Lord Victor's room with posters, did they?
He asked me to do it after.
It's all right, Chauncey. You've only got a few days left of your trial as valet.
I'm doing fantastic. I mean, that one thing was kind of, it didn't go great, but the Countess was super cool about it. No problems, nothing, no issues.
Yeah, that did strike me as a little strange. Normally, if something like this happens, I have her in my ear straight away, but she didn't complain about it to me.
I think it's because I'm charming. I have a way, and Lord Victor vouched for me. He and I have been really bonding. He thinks I do great work. I'm very punctual. I don't write in my notebook all the time. I know where everything goes, mostly.
Right.
You
know, we'll leave the valet question for now. Ash has got his trial next week, and we don't know what will happen before that.
He's gonna blow it.
But on the matter of your letter.
Oh, you did receive it. Are you able to talk about that?
What did you want to ask me?
What do I do when somebody says they might love you? Do I confront them, run away, never talk about it, avoid them forever?
Chauncey. And he sort of like, he sits back down again at the like table, and he takes a little bit of a sneaky flask out of his pocket, and he's like, offers a little bit to Chauncey if Chauncey wants it. Pours a little bit into like the cups that they were using to drink with. Just stops them from being cleared away. It's a strange.
You've been in love, right? You're married. That's what love is, I think.
I've been in love more than once, Chauncey.
How?
Well,
did your first wife die? I'm so sorry. Is that? Am I on the right track? No, you're very frozen.
I thought there was a dramatic pause too. I was like, oh dang, this is an intense question.
Oh no.
No.
Tom, what kind of backstory do you have? Oh, you're back.
There was a dramatic pause, followed by a frozen pause. Yes, that's how I think Tom sort of like takes a swig from the glass and says, well, I suppose most folks know about it here. No, I'm still married. We just we don't have too much to do with each other anymore.
Your wife?
Well, of course, she's raising the girls, and I'm very grateful for that, and she's doing a fabulous job. I'm proud of every one of them. And then he gets distracted by talking about how great his children are. Amelia, she's got quite the head on her. She's going to grow up to do something great, far beyond what me and her mother have achieved. And then Veronica, she's musical. You know, you should see her play the fiddle. Yes.
When did you fall out of love?
Well,
is that like, was it a feeling? Was it a moment? Did your heart rip in half?
It just happened slowly, like.
That doesn't make any sense.
Well, it just, being busy at the house and lots of time going by, we didn't see each other very often. There were people whom I saw every day, and so just happened slowly, like. It's not that complicated, Chauncey.
It is, though. I do not understand at all. Everybody's been giving me a different definition of what love is, and working at the estate, I see love as duty. Sure, they try and fall in love, but like Mr. Beddington and Lady Lydia, I don't think it's really gonna happen. But come on, like
no gossip. No, don't. You can't have that kind of gossip about that. If the Countess hears you, she'll roast you.
I know, but that's not love. And I'm trying to look at what I think love is, and when I see snippets of what I imagine love is, it's stressful, it's tenuous, it's ultimatums, why is it so fraught?
Was that from upstairs? All those things, what you've been hearing and seeing?
Yes and no. Takes a swig of the whiskey or whatever it was.
Let me tell you something about upstairs, Chauncey.
Yeah, I'm listening.
Upstairs, it's all about money. I've seen a lot of marriages in my time. I've seen a lot of this family itself. I saw the Countess get married. I saw her sister get married. It's all about money and name.
Okay. And then don't we have to reflect that in some manner? Like, do I get to choose who to love?
Well, don't be offended, Chauncey, but you're a person with literally nothing in the world. I mean, you had to borrow an outfit to be a valet.
I've got paper and a lot of ink. Well, some of it dried out, but yeah.
Yet that paper belongs to the estate. I don't say anything because
I mean, I forgot you've seen that. I'm so, yeah, no, you're right. And how do I
don't mean it as a bad thing, Chauncey. What I'm trying to say is that the expectations that everyone has upstairs and the things that they do, they don't really apply to us. We can make our own choices in that way. Now, by the time you get to my age, you're all wrapped up in all kinds of things that will set you one way or another. But when you're young and when you got nothing, then, well, there isn't any reason why anyone would want to be with you except that they've got the right kind of feelings.
Huh. That's more insightful than I expected.
And what reasons have you got to be with anyone else unless you feel the right kind of feelings?
Yeah, I'm just trying to figure out what those feelings are.
Well, I can't answer that question for you, Chauncey.
No, you did really, this was really good. I'm sorry for not being as respectful as I could be. I've got a lot going on. Not that that's an excuse. I'm still very good at what I do, for sure. But I'm a little distracted, and this has helped. I'm gonna think on this.
All right. Well, get yourself less distracted.
yeah, I got a lot of work. I didn't fall behind, but I'm a little behind, you know?
Yeah. And next week you're going to be back down here again. So I hope you haven't forgotten how to do your job.
I mean, I've really enjoyed my bow tie. It's been really nice.
And I feel like we'll leave them there. So that is going to end our first novel chapter. And we are going to do reputation. So as a reminder, reputation downstairs is just a matter of answering 2 questions. First one being, did you bring scandal, shame, or severe embarrassment to the household? And the second one being, did you go out of your way to protect or restore the household name?
No, like not at all.
No one knows, perfectly valid.
I feel like Ivy hasn't done anything too drastic yet to constitute. It's like maybe some inklings in her brain, but nothing that I think. I'm just throwing it out there.
Letters are incriminating.
This correspondence could
those.
get out of hand. Yes. Actually, what are we talking about? Did Ivy not steal a letter?
Oh, I did steal a letter.
That's
I
a
guess
thing.
would that be considered scandal?
Uh-huh.
I guess I did do a little scandal.
It is the letter returning to its rightful owner.
But
did have a lot of impacts in the household. I will say.
Okay, I guess I'll say yes then. I also, when Arthur's letter, how would he have known that it was me? But also I'm like, maybe I wasn't as stealthy as I thought I was. Or he knows that I do that kind of stuff.
Well, may have been Grace's fault, because she did tell Arthur that her friend.
Okay, that makes sense. So
she didn't name Ivy, but she did say that it was her friend. So, the options aren't that vast.
I will say then I probably brought a little bit of scandal and tried to keep it under wraps for the most part, but it did send some. It seemed like there were a lot of waves that were created last upstairs. So
there were. I feel like this is. I feel like the person this affects most is going to be Arthur, and I feel like this might give him the negative tag grasping, because there's all this stuff that he didn't know about that he just now. It seems like he's pursuing this. Even if he has to get these letters, even if he has to get these letters stolen for him, even though that wasn't what happened, that's what people think.
Sorry, Arthur.
Yeah, I'm sorry, Arthur. But we'll see.
Would Chauncey have technically done anything by giving that, opening up to Percival? And Percival's taking notes.
A scandal. That's gonna blow up in my face.
I'm trying to think.
But so, like, who do I give my
which upstairs character did that affect? There's the article
Lydia
itself, which
or
I don't
Victor?
think really. Which
Could I just say that
went either way on that.
Lady Hartford, maybe, because it's her state and the chaos. I'm throwing it out there.
Yeah, I like that as an option. I mean, she doesn't necessarily have the reputation tags.
She doesn't have reputation tags, but she can be upset, as we know.
Yes.
Yeah. My thought is just obviously if it was Victor, because you are going to be Victor's footman. Hopefully that the Countess asked you to not create scandal, and then you told Percival a bunch of personal things.
Well,
that's actually very true.
The article's about Victor's shoes specifically.
Okay. It has to be Victor then, because I do think that is the case. The Countess specifically was like, "Can you take care of Victor?" And then Chauncey was like, "Hey, person who owns a newspaper or works for a newspaper, here, have a bunch of hidden information about Victor." So yeah,
he still thinks it was the right thing.
Yeah. Because I guess the other thing too is like, what would Percival do with that? Would Percival be the worst and just print the gossip, or is it just kind of like a footnote right now that
you gotta wait till you have more information? Because there was a lot of mentions of things, but I didn't give, like, the full picture wasn't given to Percival.
also Percival got a letter from Grace about a potential date, and maybe not creating waves at Eaton Grange is not a priority right now.
That one seems like we might need to wait and see what Percival does with this information. But
Okay.
I'm very interested to see where that goes.
So I need a negative. What are we thinking?
For Victor?
Yeah, like
wayward maybe, because of all of the scandalous things he did in his time away.
A wonderful one. Yeah,
I'll put that in there. Victor's got so many negative reputation tags.
Just looking at that.
So much scandal around him. Okay, so that's reputation. We are going to take our break. When we come back, we will be in epistolary for more letters. Hello, and welcome back to the Eaton Grange estate. We will be writing some letters very shortly, but before we do that, we have something very important we must do, and that is household gossip. So we have a number of
Favorite.
rumors and gossip that are floating around the household downstairs at the moment. And as well as that, we do have a couple of pieces of gossip that are fading and will fade out if we decide not to spread them today. So as always, you can create a new piece of gossip, or you can spread some of the gossip that is already there, either upstairs or down. So take a look, and when you know, we will take 2 turns each. When you know what you'd like to do for your first turn.
Okay, so like I want to peek, like, what is the new gossip since, you know, we're downstairs working. If this looks like what I last read, the Countess is hiding a secret about Arthur's family. That one's been spread everywhere.
Yeah, so that's new. There's a popular play in London about the Countess. That's new gossip downstairs.
About the Countess?
Yes, that's what the word is.
Oh my god.
And then there's a mysterious suitor trying to court Lady Lydia. So those are the new pieces of downstairs gossip at the moment.
I am circulating the gossip about that play that it's about the Countess. Oh my god. And that's gonna get spread upstairs.
Spread that upstairs. Oh boy.
Oh, it was already spread downstairs. So
Yes, no, I know. I the Countess is going to be thrilled about that.
Mhm.
Sure.
Mhm. Hopefully that'll be when Ash has to be upstairs, so that'll be no problem. What are you thinking, Katie?
I kind of like the second or the third one that says the Countess is highly dependent on Arthur more than you might expect and has given him great responsibility. And it says Victor because the Countess is cruel and incapable. And I kind of want to spread that downstairs.
Very good.
Because that had to have been started by Victor, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Specifically.
That feels right.
I think if there's like a new, because we do 2, right?
Yes, you have 2
Mhm.
turns.
Okay.
Yes.
I'm trying to think of like, is there any new rumors based? Actually,
I feel like I want a really simple one, like the homecoming ball for Lady Jane Porter is going to be the matchmaking event of the season. The Hartford matchmaking event of the season.
Oh my god, that's a mouthful. The Hartford matchmaking event of the season.
Yes.
Whoever has to announce that.
There's so many things I want to start, but I'm also like, I can't because it implicates too many people that I care about.
I want to
Just
push.
do it.
I want to push the Grace and Lydia side of things. So like we have the Grace Clark holds affections for somebody in the household. Cause like, sure, Ivy asked Chauncey to not say anything, but Chauncey told somebody else, and that somebody else might tell somebody else, and then it might get to the upstairs. So I am gonna go ahead and click that one.
Okay, that's gonna get Grace into a bit of trouble.
There's no way Ivy would know that. So I'm going to go with something that's like...
It doesn't have to be something your character
Yeah,
knows.
I constantly forget
we're
that.
doing this as people,
Okay.
So
General gossip upstairs or
anything that
downstairs.
interests you, yeah.
That Grace has upcoming plans to go to London with Mr. Blakely. Or go on a trip. Let's make it more general, like on a trip
Grace
with
is
Mr.
going on a trip.
Oh my god, she can afford the days off? What are those kids gonna do?
They're staying with their aunt.
But I will say, if Ivy did start that, it would be with the best intentions to be like, look, Lydia, go get Grace.
Oh, stop her, please.
Funny, yeah.
Oh my goodness. Okay, so what is fading? Looks like only one.
Fading out, it would be 2. We have 2 rumors that are
yeah.
fading out. And so that an heir to Crawford Park has recently been found. No one knows that. That's gone. That's faded. And that there's something between Grace and Arthur. Co-conspirators, romance, who knows? There's obviously something between Grace and Arthur, so obvious that they know each other that it's not even a rumor.
It's not even a rumor. Yeah, it's
not
fact.
even a rumor. I will spread that Grace is going on a trip with Mr. Blakely upstairs for my final turn.
Upstairs?
Upstairs. I do like that. Yeah, so that is household gossip. And so we have spread upstairs that Grace holds affections for someone in the household. And that there's a popular play in London about the Countess, and spread downstairs that the Countess is highly dependent on Arthur, brackets because she's cruel and incapable. Thanks, Victor. And that did we have another one that was spread downstairs? Yes.
Oh gosh, I need them to be like highlighted.
No, it was
in
upstairs.
Different numbers.
It was upstairs.
Yes, that was the one that I did.
Mr. Blakely.
Yes.
Excellent. Okay, so letters, epistolary. When you have your letter ready, go for.
Mine is short and sweet, so I'm happy to go first. Whenever Ivy gets back from like day laundering, there is a once crumpled and then smoothed out and folded over torn piece of paper on your pillow. And on the front it says, "For my friend Ivy." And when you open it up, in a very familiar text, you see Chauncey's writing. "I have done a lot of thinking about our friendship, and if you would grace me with your presence, I think I would like to say some words to your face. I would like to go for a walk with you." Signed, C.
Alrighty. I think just because of we missed each other's paths during the day, you probably find a note on your pillow as well. Very like folded over, very neatly, and it says, "To my friend Chauncey. I just wanted to let you know that I am here if you need for learning any duties that the footman position might require of you. I'm quite skilled at making hospital corners on the bed and placing the pillows just so. I also know how to make a delicious cup of tea if Miss Pan is busy, and the perfect technique for being not heard or seen. I know you want this position so badly, and I want to help you get it. I know that you've been quite busy with your writing lately, and I hope that the meeting with Mr. Blakely went well. I am sure that your writing prowess will be unmatched, no doubt in my mind at all. Your friend always, Ivy."
Well, Chauncey looks at that, tucks it in his work shirt, I think, and then probably heads out to look for her.
I have a letter as well. While we are writing letters, and this letter is addressed to both Ivy and Chauncey.
Oh no!
And it is from someone that they knew well, but haven't seen in a very long time. And the writing, it comes by registered post from outside of Hartford, and the writing is very flowery and flamboyant, which is maybe something that's changed since they last saw this handwriting. And it is from their childhood friend, Pothos Austin, who left Hartford as soon as they reached their adult years to go and make something of themselves. And it says, "My dearest Ivy and Chauncey, how are you both? I haven't seen you in what seems like a lifetime. I find myself with reason to be close by, not in Hartford, but in Reganfield, just the suburb over. For, did you know, a play of mine is currently being put on there. And I had thought, since it is so close by to Hartford, that if you are doing nothing, if you are free on a Sunday, I might pick you both up and take you to see it. It is a comedy about two lovers who desperately adore each other, but both think that the other has no affections. I think you will find it very amusing. Please do let me know if you would like me to come. I assure you, we shall make quite the Sunday of it." Your good friend. Looking forward to seeing you again after so many years. Pothos Austin. And like Pothos is like the T and the H is like super swirly. It's just like takes up half the page.
Oh, it's delightfully obnoxious.
I would imagine Ivy and Chauncey would open it together.
Yeah.
So maybe you found me. I probably got your note, and I feel like Ivy has this confusion of like, Chauncey wants to go on a walk out of nowhere. So I don't bring it up when I first see you, just to see what you say. But I feel like we should go to this.
That's brilliant. I've always wanted to see the theater. I've never been able to really afford it. I mean, I know there's free ones, but I can't get it to work. Do you remember them? They were fantastic, full of terrible and creative ideas. They're the one that broke their leg when they jumped off of the rock into the ravine.
That's true. They were very method, if I remember, in what they did.
Always committed to the bit.
I'm glad that they wrote us. I never expected to hear from them again.
Right, and to find us like this, not that we really went that far, but still, this is incredible. We have so much coming up, but I think we could maybe find time for this.
I think so. I would love to take a Sunday off and actually get away from here, as much as I love being here. And I hope the sarcasm registers on Ivy's face. It would be nice to get a change of scenery. And also to get a ride. We would get picked up.
I don't have to walk?
We wouldn't have to walk.
I'm not familiar with that.
Oh, what would I wear? I don't have anything.
You could borrow something. I'm probably gonna rummage through Ash's wardrobe when he's not looking.
Well, no one down here really has the dresses like Lady Lydia does.
It's true. Mrs. Crow isn't really your size either.
Do you think Lady Lydia would let me borrow a dress?
No? What kind of question is that?
I don't know. I just thought maybe do you think I could ask her? Was that bad?
Do you want to keep your job?
Yes, but if it's just like I could play it off as a joke if she was like, never, I could just be like, I got you, like a prank.
Or we could steal it.
I borrow?
Borrow. Yeah, just don't get it dirty then. Yeah, because
I could get stains out if I needed to.
I haven't figured that out yet.
I've gotten very good at it, especially after breakfast the other day. I don't know. Maybe I'll take a peek the next time I'm helping her get dressed, and then see if there's like a small one that she doesn't wear that often.
Yeah, because you can't ask that. That's.
Ivy thinks back to the letter that she got and was like, maybe I could.
You absolutely could. Yeah. I just, I've really been thinking about our station and our position. And do you want to go for a walk? It's gorgeous out today. I was walking through town. Well, I should have been working.
I brought laundry into town, and I just got your letter, and don't you have to write? I thought you had writing to do.
Yeah, I submitted something to the Hartford news stand.
How did it go?
Amazing. He listened to every word I said. He adored the writing. He said he was going to publish it immediately. but Ivy, please, it has to be under a pen name. I can't tarnish the name of Chauncey Chimney when I work here. I protect the secrets of the estate and all that.
Does it make you sad, though, that you wouldn't have like the glory of, my name is in print?
I'm crushed. I felt like I was going to throw up in the office.
Oh.
My hands are sweating again. I don't know. There's a lot of reasons for that. It looks very pointed at you.
I know. I know. What did you have to tell me what happened after the Victor poster scandal? What happened?
So we probably take a step outside, and maybe there's a familiar trail that the lady would walk at certain times of the day. And it's often our job to kind of keep it free of debris. We could just give it a walk throughout the day. Okay, so the Countess pulled me in. Okay, she scolded me just easily. It was a scolding, but also I wasn't really in trouble.
What? I've only ever been scolded.
Well, I
have literally only ever been scolded.
Okay, Ivy, you have to. I know a secret about you, and I think it's important that I could tell you a secret about me, you know?
You know a secret about what's...
I'll tell you after I'm done talking about myself. Is that okay? Yeah.
Yeah. That's...
Yeah.
Is it a secret? Yeah, you tell me your secret, and then...
Yeah, sharing. So the Countess... I couldn't just let it go. I wrote her a letter, and I know it's incredibly improper.
You wrote the Countess a letter?
It was an apology, and I said that I would do anything to make it up to her, and I guess anything was taken into account, and I'm keeping an eye on Victor. I'm just like making sure he doesn't do anything untoward or anything that would ruin the Eaton Grange's name or the Countess's name or his own name. I'm basically a spy.
And are you okay with that?
Oh no, I feel terrible. I like Victor. I love his shoes. I love his power, his presence. I wanted to be like that. I wanted to emulate him. And now that I have to watch him with nefarious purposes, I feel gross.
I don't blame you. That's his mother.
I mean, that part didn't surprise me.
Why? I'm just a little lost for words, which is a lot for me. You could, just hear me out. You could just pretend that you don't see anything untoward. Does Victor deserve to be spied on?
No, I mean, not as my perspective, but from the Countess, I'm sure she feels slighted, offended.
When does she
hurt.
not feel slighted or offended or hurt?
I don't know. All the time. That was the joke. Yeah. Yep. So
She's
I'm
always so upset about everything. And she just makes everybody else feel bad. I've seen it with Lady Lydia, the looks that the Countess gives everyone.
Huh. I don't see her in action very often. Sometimes Miss Crow will repeat her words and they're awful. Always awful.
I get looks which are much worse, but then she gives those looks also to her children. It's kind of sad.
Huh. Maybe that's why Lord Victor doesn't.
Can you imagine never amounting
Conflicted.
to what your parents want, ever? And then you go out and do something for you, and you come back and it's just met with such disgust.
I mean, I understand, but I don't get it, you know? Like,
Yeah.
theater is beautiful, but it's not Eaton Grange beautiful, you know? It's art. We don't really have art. We have parties? Balls.
Balls?
Called. Like the gowns and the dancing.
Yes,
Sorry, yeah. I'm not being.
I thought you meant balls.
No.
I see what you meant now.
Yeah. And fencing, we have that. But we don't have painting. We don't have singing. Where's the passion, the art? I want so much of that. So I want Victor to be happy, but I also don't want to disappoint the Countess. Oh, also, the secret that I found out about you is that you might have loved me, and you probably love me now, and I don't really know how to figure out those feelings.
Ivy just goes like quiet. All the blood drains from her face. Where did you hear that?
I didn't leave your room when you were talking to Miss Clark. Like, if we're both walking, I feel like we both kind of like slow down, not quite looking at each other.
Yeah, it's just staring straight ahead, almost like a dissociated moment, coming back into herself.
Is that? Do you really feel like?
I thought it was obvious, Chauncey.
Not in the slightest.
Okay. It's fine. You don't feel that way, and it's fine. It's fine.
It's not that I don't. It's just I don't understand.
I love you like a friend.
Oh, yeah.
There may have been a time that I loved you more than a friend, but I understand now that what you need is love as a friend.
I want to support you. I want to help you. I don't know. Like, the thought of holding your hand has been making my hands sweat for a day.
In a bad way?
I don't know. I can't read my feelings. I'm used to, I write things down. I don't feel them.
And that's what I'll look, like Ivy will look at you, and are you just like profusely sweating?
Yes.
That was not a conversation that you were supposed to hear. That was just a, Grace and I were just speaking in plain terms about things that have been troublesome for us lately.
Like Grace and Lady Lydia.
Yes, they're in love, and it's
Yeah, you told me not to tell anybody, and I haven't.
And I appreciate you not telling telling anyone. The reason I know that I'm a gossip and I get in trouble for it, but what they have is something real, and I don't want anything to happen to that because someone says something. It's not worth ruining that for them.
What they have is real. I saw Lady Lydia just bawling. She was a mess. I've never seen her so emotional when when Lady Lydia and Miss Clark were talking. How is that supposed to be love?
Have you ever seen her be that way with Mr. Beddington?
Not really.
Love is, well, what I think love is that it takes over and it makes you sit with things you don't want to sit with sometimes. It's not love is wonderful. Love has other things in it that make you sad, and if you don't care that much about someone, she wouldn't have been crying. She would have just walked away and been like, oh, well.
I never considered that. Wow. So you really felt a lot of that about me.
We grew up together, Chauncey, and...
Well, yeah, I know your favorite color. I know your favorite food. I know how many times you brush your hair in the morning, but I didn't know that was supposed to be love.
Ivy's looking at you, and it's like her eyes are glossing over. Love is apparently very different to so many people, and what love is to someone might not be love to you.
I'm learning that.
But I understand that you don't feel that way about me. Right?
I want to be by your side. I want you to read my book when I finally write it. I want you to read all my articles. I want to tell you every time I have good news. I love seeing your face throughout the day and you sharing little snippets of gossip. I love the letters that you write me because it's always so neat, and I've never been able to not write on a tilt. And I love the way that you play with your hair whenever you get nervous. I love how you try to smooth out your dress when you think somebody's going to be worried about all the wrinkles. But I didn't think that was love. I just thought that meant I liked to be around you, you know?
It sounds an awful lot like the books I read. I will always read your articles. I was always going to read your book. It's the same with you. I know that you write in a specific scrawl, and I shouldn't expect that the letters will be folded nicely, which was kind of surprised today that you smoothed it out before putting it on my pillow, but yeah. I don't want you to force something on yourself if you're not ready for it. I deserve, same as you, to be the focus. And right now, you want the footman position? You're going to be printed in the Hartford Herald, and I can't be happier for you. You deserve it more than anything, and I just know that as awkward as this is for me, I don't want it to affect our friendship. I don't want us to be odd now.
I don't want that either. And he wipes the sweaty hands on like their tunic or their cloth or their shirt. Can I grab your hands? They're not sweaty.
Ivy's just thinking about like how painful this is, because it's like essentially feeling like getting friend zoned, I think.
Mm-hmm. No, 100%.
And then like the idea of like physical touch. So I wipe my hands on the apron and reach them out to Chauncey.
I want you to have what you deserve. You deserve somebody who would pay attention to you and really respect you and give you the love that you need. Somebody like, not like Mr. Beddington, not like him, but like or Mr. Bed. Or gosh, who's Mr. Beddington? Who's Mr. Bed?
Well, there's Ash. Ash is Mr.
Ash's
Bed. You think I should be with Mr. Bed?
No. Not really. Just like you deserve somebody who's organized and knows how to put their shoes on without asking for help sometimes, and who can finish a task and who doesn't have to kind of bully their way through things. You know, I really do want what's best for you, but do you know what you want?
I thought I did. I guess this is a conversation that's long overdue. Did you never pick up on any of it? Any of the times when we were growing up?
None. Nothing.
I thought
Not
I
a
was-
single sign. Well, can you give me an example? Was it like, I've got nothing. Truly.
All the times that I would cancel my plans to just spend with you, to go on walks, to sit by the river and skip stones, and I told you how handsome you looked, or the times that I would just try to sit closely, and the times that I would lean in. None of it.
Oh. I thought you really just liked my company and skipping. You're much better at skipping stones than I am. And I run hot, sweaty hands. So I just figured my warmth was good.
All the letters that I didn't really need to send because I see you every day. All of the gifts I would just leave by your bed sometimes. None of it registered as anything more than friends.
No. I thought that was what friends do. I've never had a friend, not like you. I tend to push people away because I'm never going to be friends with Ash. He's horrible.
I know you don't like Ash very much, but you really should give him a try. He's not too bad.
At that moment, Tom steps out into the garden, and there's a vibe that he's looking for the both of you. He hasn't found you yet, but he looks very annoyed.
Hi, Mr. McGrain. We're just doing duties.
Sweeping the gardens. No problem.
There you two are. And he sort of like sulkily marches his way over. Chauncey, the Countess wants to see you. I don't know why I'm here running around delivering a message from the Countess to you. It seems like there is nobody working today.
We've worked. Ivy did laundry.
Yes, it's being repaired as we speak.
And I think he's like,
yes, sir. I'm gone. Ivy, I'll talk to you later.
All right. As you're walking away, you'd probably see a single tear roll down Ivy's face. Like you were literally friend zoning.
100%.
Okay, I wanted to make sure I read it right.
Like the kind of friend zone where they're like, well, we could still try. And it's just like, no, you're not into this. Why are you doing this? It hurts me more.
And I think Tom will walk over to like Ivy, as like Chauncey runs off. And he just looks at her and he's like, Ivy, just take the rest of the day off. Just sort it out. Just come back tomorrow ready to
so
work.
Much to do, Mr. Mongrain.
Just come back. It's okay. Just come back tomorrow ready to work. It's okay.
Can I ask you a question?
Yes.
Have you ever been in love with your best friend?
Oh, this again. this. What is it with this household today?
I know I'm working on it. I'm trying to move on. If it's not quite obvious, I had feelings for Chauncey.
Yes. It's painfully obvious.
So it was obvious. Like it wasn't in my head. Chauncey should have picked up on these things, right?
You do know. And like he's not saying this in a scolding manner, but more like that relationships between staff in the household are strictly off limits.
Yes, I do know that. But sometimes you can't help how you feel. Have you read? I know I'm speaking out of turn today, Mr. Mongrain, but
You can't help how you feel, but there's a reason why relationships between staff are strictly off limits.
Well, you'll be happy to know we're just friends and we will always be just friends.
Well, I'm happy to know that, Ivy, and I'm happy to know that for your sake, because if it were any other way, that would be getting you in a great deal of trouble. And it's already getting you in a great deal of trouble. And I don't know whether you plans to be a dairy farmer one day when your parents retire, but I don't think that's the sort of life you're looking for. I think you're looking to go far. And I'll tell you something, Ivy. You've got a good head on you. And I could see you as a housekeeper one day, even at somewhere like Eaton Grange. But
she smiles a little at that, but then also it's like a little sad to think like, cool, I get to reach the top goal of being the housekeeper.
But he thinks this is a great thing. And so he's like, one day you'll come to see that the future that you really do have before you is better than what you read about in them books. Books are just words on a page. They don't get you anywhere in life. You got to take what you have and go far with it.
But don't you have to admit there's a little bit of maybe escapism when you think about being romanced in the ways that the books say. Picnics on hills and taking time to get flowers and then holding hands just because you can.
Go find yourself a nice village boy or girl on a Sunday. Recreational.
I do need to maybe I'll just focus on my work because I'm very good at dusting and I can just clean the house very well and just not think about anything ever. I'm sorry, I'm quite sad right now and I'm trying my best to not be completely inappropriate, Mr. Mungrain.
That's why I'm giving you the rest of the day off, Ivy.
Even
So
with the short staff.
I'm already the one sending the Countess's messages. I've done more than enough polishing in my time.
All right, I will go back. If you do need me, I will just be in my quarters and I will try not to be a bother the rest of the day.
No, go out to the town or something.
Okay. I will get away from here for a bit.
All right. You'll figure it out. Types like you always go far once they figure it out.
Thank you, Mr. Mungrain.
And he goes back inside.
And Ivy's gonna gather up all of her stuff and maybe stick a book, the letter from Arthur and Lydia, and probably even the letter from Chauncey in the front of the book, and go probably back to that same tree she stopped at earlier today, and then have probably a complete breakdown. Like just sobbing, reading the letter over and over, and then walking over to the river and taking the walk letter from Chauncey, tearing it up, and then throwing it into the water and kind of crying, watching it float away.
How close is the river to the town?
I like to think it's about halfway so that no one can probably see her from the estate and probably not close enough to the town that someone's just like watching her have this breakdown.
15-minute walk.
Yeah, I imagine there's like a bridge and it's probably the bridge you cross over where you're like, oh, I'm halfway to the town. So
I would offer a resolve token for Ivy's aunt to be returning the laundry to the Grange and come across her.
Look at the characters.
I guess my aunt would find me probably very familiar with Ivy's cries at this over the years.
Yeah, in fact, I don't even think that she's like going down the path that Ivy is specifically on. She's like on a parallel path, and then she like so she's 54 like years of age. She's the town's seamstress, and she's got the clothes like very neatly folded in a little bag. And you know, ordinarily like Ivy would just come and pick the clothes up, but she knows that you told her when you dropped them off that it's been very, very busy at the estate, so she's going to return them herself, kind of like, you know, she's trying to do Ivy a favor to like not take more time out of her day, and she's just walking along the path when she hears something, and her eyes kind of narrow for a minute, and then, yep, that sound is very familiar to her. So she kind of like walks along the river until she finds Ivy.
I imagine Ivy hears like a snap of a twig behind her and turns around. Aunt Ivy, what are you doing? Aunt Ivy, what are you doing here?
And she sort of like gestures at the clothes. Well, I know you had a very busy day. Ivy, what's wrong?
Nothing. I told Chauncey overheard me say that I love Chauncey, and Chauncey then told me that Chauncey doesn't want to be with me, and that's fine.
I think she'll step forward and will give you a hug if you let her.
Oh yeah, and I would just probably collapse into sobs in Aunt Evie's hug. What are you doing over here? And why could have come and gotten it? I could have come and gotten it so you wouldn't have to walk this far.
I don't understand anything that you're saying right now, darling, but it will be okay.
I threw a letter in the river. Is that all right? It's been an awful day.
Are you free? Why don't you come back and have a cup of tea? I have a letter from your parents I was going to give to you as well.
From Mum and Dad? Okay. I feel I'm going to get over this, right? It's just stupid childhood love that I read about in books don't matter. And I'm sorry, I'm a little worked up. I didn't expect to see anyone.
Well, I'm not anyone. I'm family.
Here, let me take those. I'm going to grab the laundry to carry it so that she doesn't have to.
Thank you, darling. Come along now. And she'll sort of like lead Ivy back towards the town, even though that's where she came from, back to her shop. And sort of as she's going, she's just telling her news about the family, like, oh, and the new calves are like, you'd be glad to know that they're very healthy this year, and there was 6 of them, and it was quite something, and everyone was up all night and kind of like, going on about like completely banal, unrelated things to just like try and comfort Ivy along the walk.
I imagine Ivy feels better. It's just a distraction of different conversation and not thinking about what just transpired, aka Chauncey. So, and hearing back from back home is not something she gets to hear about too often. So it's nice to get a little update on what's happening on the farm. I think Billy froze for a second. But Ivy's very excited for this letter from Mom and Dad.
I want to hear more about the cows.
Yeah, no, I was just nodding in agreement. Yes. Lots of news from the farm. I think we'll leave them there walking towards the town, because I do want to cross back to Chauncey, who has been called in to see the Countess.
Oh, heck. So the walk there, so nervous. Like arms by their side, like rigid walk, not looking anywhere, not making eye contact with any of the other staff. Just trying to get from point A to point B as quietly as possible, because this isn't going to be a meeting that he relishes.
And the Countess has already received a sort of an update letter from Chauncey in regards to the situation with Victor. It didn't state very much of particular interest, mainly about his diet. In regards to his overconsumption of butter. But nevertheless, it is good to receive a report. So she is in her study, as she was last time. And
it's an uncomfortable knock.
Yes, come in.
Your ladyship, I present myself.
Yes, close the door.
Oh, yes, sorry. How may I be of assistance?
I've been thinking about you.
Oh.
I received your letter, and
Yes.
There was perhaps not a great deal of value in it, but of course I do respect you upholding our agreement.
Yes, Your Ladyship.
You're not somebody that a lot of other people would think of as, how should I put this? Detailed, organized.
No, Your Ladyship. He like tries to like hide a smear of ink on like his brown shirt.
Or having a particular connection with myself in the way that Mr. Morgraine and Mrs. Currow do.
No, Your Ladyship, this is the third time you've spoken to me, and I'm honored. It's lovely, this conversation.
Good. I do not think we shall speak too often, because I do think that there is some value in that kind of connection. The mistress of a house ought to know her staff well, from even those that seem like they are beneath her notice have value. And I would like your value to be just that.
Oh, yes, Your Ladyship.
I have been considering your position, and I do look well upon your opportunity to be the valet.
Yes, Your Ladyship.
But there is one thing I would ask of you that will truly decide the matter.
Of course.
And believe me on this point, if any word about what I'm about to tell you escapes this room, you'll no longer be employed in this household.
I understand, Your Ladyship.
Good. I had a letter in this room, which I had left inopportunely it seems, upon the top of my drawers within a stack. That letter is gone. The letter was from an Olivia bed. It was addressed to Arthur Beddington.
Oh, okay, Your Ladyship.
Now, the only people who would have had the opportunity to take this letter without my notice would have been those who work downstairs at this house. And I do not believe that Mr. Morgraine or Mrs. Crew would have had any involvement in the matter, which narrows it down a little further. Nor do I believe that you were involved in this, or I wouldn't be having this conversation with you.
Yes, Your Ladyship.
That letter contained some very important information that has fallen into hands that were not yet ready for it. I would like you to find out who took that letter from my study and report back to me.
Okay. Yes, I can do that. Of course, anything for you, Your Ladyship.
If you can tell me who it was, then your promotion, consider it assured on that alone.
Yes, absolutely,
And
Your
by
Ladyship.
the way, Chauncey, I know how some of you downstairs staff get. Do not have any compunctions about telling me the name of this person. I will make it very clear. They are a thief. They have stolen something. I do not know how valuable they knew it to be, but they have stolen something from the very person they work for, which for a servant is one of the worst offenses that could be possible. And so if you were thinking that you might want to protect that person, just remember that they have dishonored their profession and this household.
Understood, Your Ladyship.
Good. I'll trust you with this task, but don't take too long about it.
No, of course not, Your Ladyship. Would you still request daily updates on Lord Victor's activities?
You do not have to send me daily updates. Just alert me if anything particularly notable occurs.
Okay, I have 8 pages of tasks. Okay, thank you.
Mr. Bed will still be taking his turn as valet next week. If you can give me the answer to this question before he is finished, then you can be assured the position will go to you.
Okay, yes, thank you so much.
Goodbye now.
Thank you. It scrambles away, tries to scrape a bow. Oh, what? And as soon as he gets outside, back to the wall, trying to breathe, very akin to Arthur that one time.
Can I play my monologue token on Chauncey at this
point? Yes. So yeah, back to the brick wall, trying to catch his breath, fanning their face. I don't know what to do. And then he's gonna start walking back downstairs while narrating, a lot of his feelings. That has to be Ivy. Ivy's the only one that would be so bold as to steal something like that. Ivy's the only one that would ever agree to steal a dress with me. This is awful. I need that position, but I can't throw her under the carriage. We're friends. She gave me gifts and letters but are we friends? Did I ruin that? Is there anything left of us? She was crying when I left her. I really want this job. I really want to rub it in Ash's face that I could do better than anything at him, especially at this position. Ash Bed, Olivia Bed. I could blame this on him. Yeah, I could find a way to spin this. As long as I can secure the position, Ivy doesn't get into any trouble, and Ash is going to lose his job. Yeah, nothing can go wrong with that. I can work this out. Okay, I've got to go do some writing, but I think this plan is perfect. And Chauncey's gonna go back to his chambers or back to whatever he has to clean.
Oh my god. That's very good. Wow.
You know,
drama.
They're upstairs, right, for this meeting?
Mm-hmm. You gotta go through my room. I don't even have a room, never mind. I have a table I sleep on in a hall.
Well, since you're valet at the moment, you have a little space in a room in Victor's dressing room that's attached to his room.
Oh my gosh. I'm picturing a little Harry Potter closet and it's perfect.
Yeah.
I don't know that I want anyone to overhear this now that I think I'm gonna hold back.
Oh, can I play a token so you don't hold back?
I can't. I was gonna say I kind of want someone upstairs to overhear this between the Countess and Chauncey, but that's a pretty big reveal.
Yeah. I need this to blow up in my face first, I think.
I think that I'm gonna save it. I'm gonna save it. Because my original thought was to have Victor overhear this.
Huh. See, if Victor overheard it, I feel like he would just help me.
Yeah, I feel like there's just a lot there that
help me or fire me.
Are you speaking out loud when you're going through it?
I think so, muttering kind of to themselves.
Okay, could I have a probably resolve token that Victor overhears the muttering that Chauncey is sharing?
What words do you think were if Victor were to kind of take something away from my quick leave of the Countess's office, would it be?
Think just that I could blame it could have been Ivy, but I'm gonna blame it. I could spin this. I can spin this to be it was Ash. It's Bed Ash. Just hearing this plan of yours kind of come to fruition. So instead of hearing what the Countess and you talked about, hearing you kind of work through this.
Mm-hmm.
I like
because I need that to resolve in its own chaotic way.
Yeah.
I love Victor so much.
That's very good. I really like the fact it's very true to the architecture of this house that literally you can't do anything here without someone overhearing you. I mean, this house is full of people. The turns are very sharp, and words said aloud are usually inadvisable here. Okay, so let's let's change tone for a little bit. And let's take a moment to talk about Percival and Grace.
Yes.
So Percival's arranged this trip. Is he going to come and pick Grace up from Eaton Grange so that he can talk to Mrs. Crow?
Yeah, well, he would definitely just go to the estate anyway to pick up Grace because that's what Grace deserves. But yeah, probably to talk to Miss. In one of my little pockets, the ring is sitting in there to task Miss Crow about it.
I think like he would come in through the servants' entrance, which is where like visitors for the the staff come in, as he's waiting for someone to go and get Grace, who is sort of like finishing packing because this is the beginning of her first day off, and who knows how long the children are finally off at their aunt's, and so she is packing for this trip. Then I would imagine that Mrs. Crow walks past. They'd recognize each other.
Oh yes,
everyone knows everyone in town.
There's a very curt, I feel like another accessory for Mrs. Crow. What would somebody that's stately, but also still like a housemaid wear? Hold on, I got it.
Percival would walk in and just go, knock, knock.
Oh, Mr. Blakely, how are you?
I'm all right, Miss Crow. How are you doing?
Very well. We have a event to prepare for, so things are very busy. Speaking of busy, have you received any mail?
Yes, quite a few letters. I actually got one from you.
Excellent, and I trust that you will take that into very serious consideration.
I have to tell you, though, I cannot accept this. And he pulls out the ring. This is something that belongs to you.
Yes. Of course, it was an exchange. I need you to protect the information, and I was going to give you something to perhaps give your new fiancé.
Listen, was this your ring at one point in time? And what happened to that relationship? I must know. The ring, I've heard, can carry ghosts with it.
Oh, well, if that's the case, it must have the ghost of my dead husband.
But don't you want to keep this then?
No! Heavens no, he was a terrible man. I don't want anything to do with it. I wanted to give it a new home. Miss Clark deserves the best, and if that is who you decide to woo, I just need you to be focused and not pay attention to the affairs of this estate.
Everybody pays attention to the affairs of this estate. You have to be honest. It's not just me.
Mr. Blakely, I ask that you do not publish or share information that you might hear about this estate. It is very important that we guard our secrets.
Yes, that's been made very clear to me, and I care very much so for Grace, and I would never do anything to put the estate at risk. Even though I have heard some things, Miss Crow, secrets aren't always as safe as you think they are here.
Oh? Have you perhaps heard of Lady Lydia's new beau?
It's so interesting to me that you asked me to not print things and then you are going to share this.
This is not gossip, Mr. Blakely. When it comes out of my mouth, it is fact.
All right, tell me more about Lady Lydia's new beau.
You're twisting my words. I was asking what you know about this person. Where do they live? What is their status? I've only heard of them, and it is very important that we ascertain this immediately.
Are you speaking about Mr. Beddington?
No. There's a tense silence between the two of them where they're just like looking at each other.
I guess I would have to research this one a little bit more. Do you think I need to get this ring cleansed? Not to be in an offensive way, but if you're to be... You said your ex-husband, or your excuse me, your
My late
dead
husband.
Your late husband, was a terrible man?
He just was not a kind man.
Does this ring, I am assuming, does not give you good memories then?
Not particularly.
Why don't you sell it? Get some money from it. Put it in your pocket.
I can't. I could not. Sell the memories? I know that they were terrible, but this needs to be gifted towards somebody.
At
Please.
that moment,
Go ahead.
Grace is down the bottom of the stairs. Percival?
Hello, Grace. I'll be right with you. It was nice chatting with you, Miss Crow.
I implore that you keep that ring.
I will keep it safe for the time being.
Thank you.
And
Remember what I said to you.
I don't think I'll forget it, to be honest. And
tuts away.
I'm going to take the ring and make a mental note. Percival is going to go sell it for Miss Crow and then send her the money anonymously. Because it's not his ring. Yeah, it's not his ring. And he wants her to have like a little cushion for when she does need to retire. So, and like Percival's also
she's never
like
going to retire. She's going to work until she dies.
Maybe if you get a little cushion, maybe it won't be so hard. But I do feel like Percival is going to buy a ring for someone if that moment comes to propose. Grace, are you ready? I've planned everything.
Yeah, and she's there. She's got a small like case of things. The case is very sort of worn and used. And she says, "Let's go." And there is like such an excitement in her face to get out of Eaton Grange. I mean, to be with Percival. And
but Percival's just smiling like over the moon. Just sky's the limit. This is going to be the best week of all time.
And I think as they sort of go out the front, she says, "What were you talking to Mrs. Crow about?"
Oh, constantly, just like you, Grace doesn't want me to publish anything from the estate, but listen, I did get Chauncey's article, and it's just about fashion, and we're gonna do a pen name. It's gonna be fine. It's about puffy shoes. I don't think it's gonna create shame upon the estate, so I think we'll be okay.
I trust you, Percival.
I'm not gonna do anything to just ruin this household. It's where you're employed. It's still people, though I will say some of the people who work here talk a lot. It's hard to not share some of the things that I've heard.
Oh yes, anything juicy that you think I wouldn't know?
Ooh, I might have a few things to fill you in on, but also some secrets might be good to hold on to. They could be exclusives at some point.
I think that really does make her laugh.
I'd get you to the carriage and open it up and hold your hand to help you in.
I feel like we should like smash cut forward to them in London almost.
Yeah.
I don't know, what do you think?
Yeah, what would
maybe
be
in Vauxhall Gardens, which is like, it's like a pleasure garden. It's like there's like, you know, it's like a beautiful like botanical garden, but it's also like an entertainment center. So like, there are like people swallowing flames and jugglers, and they say there's fireworks here on like festival days that you can watch, and so it's sort of like a place where like it's like people go to like get entertainment and see that kind of thing, because it's both beautiful and there's a lot of spectacles to look at.
So you're saying like Percival could have called ahead and maybe set up a nice lunch there? Or even a picnic of some kind? Yeah, like would that be possible that we're walking through the gardens?
It would be expensive, but it would be very possible.
I think because this seems like a once in a life, like Grace reached out and Percival never thought that would happen, that he probably splurged a little bit on this because you had specifically mentioned this place to make this a memorable part of the trip.
Oh, I really like that. So what does it look like as they turn the corner to the place that Percival knows this is waiting?
I imagine a gazebo kind of in the garden, and there's just a single table in there that's got the doilies and the place coverings, and it's just set up in a way that we've probably set it up at the estate a lot. So it's like we're the people being treated today. And there's candles and there's just all these little like accoutrements and like high tea, I almost imagine. So we have this beautiful view of the garden. There's flowers and rose bushes everywhere. And we turn the corner and Percival's very nervous, but like excited for Grace to see this. So we round the corner and he turns to her. Are you hungry?
Oh my gosh. I think she's just like she breaks out into a smile. And like there's also like a bit of a like, oh, Percival, you went way overboard, like kind of look to it, but in a happy way. And she just says, oh gosh, Percival, is this for us?
This is, I thought, we're in London. We should enjoy ourselves.
She's just shaking her head, but it's like a when you're amazed, like, just like, wow.
Come on, and he'll grab your hands and then pull you towards the table, and they've got the little sandwiches, which obviously they've people rave about this place, and little tots, and then just everything. Is there anything you want? I will get it for you.
Everything that's here is wonderful. I never dreamed that I would have lunch at Vauxhall Gardens. Certainly not at a private gazebo.
Well, you only live once, right?
You do. And I think like there's like a moment of silence as she sort of thinks about it for a second. And her face falls for like a split second, but then she's like, what do you want to try first?
I think the cucumber sandwiches start savory and then end with sweet.
That's how we should do it. And I think she will like, if there's like only one of something, she'll like cut it in half and like put half on each of their plates, sort of thing. And I feel like as they're drinking tea and like enjoying the food, and Grace seems more relaxed than we have like seen her so far at all. Like there's a different feeling that has come over her. She like her posture kind of loosens. It's not that like a rigid upright I'm a tutor working here posture. It's just like I'm a person enjoying a meal, and she's laughing and enjoying the food. And then like I feel like what happens is like she leans over to get something, and the ring that she has like still got under her clothing kind of like bumps against something and her chest, and then she kind of gets like reminded about it, and the thought comes back across her. And
I would like to play a resolve token that it falls out of your dress.
Oh my god. Yeah, absolutely. I'll take that. I have no resolve token, so I desperately need this. Thank you.
All yours, friend.
Thank you very much.
What does this ring look like again?
It is, gosh, Margaret described it so eloquently. It's quite a beautiful ring. It's
I don't remember either. I'm so sorry. I think maybe if Margaret could type it out.
Yeah, I can do that.
We're just like, yeah, we'll come back to the description of the ring. But I think nosy. what happens is, I imagine that since it's like, I think that what must happen is, since it's around her neck, is that like she leans forward and it kind of like falls out of like the front of her clothing, so that it's still on the necklace, like it doesn't like fall off, but the necklace itself just falls out, and then there's the ring on the end of it. And I think it sort of like clanks against like a glass, and then she like jolts upright immediately.
Do you tuck it away right away?
Yes.
I mean, obviously, Percival notices this.
Absolutely.
This isn't something that, would just completely fly under the radar. I've never seen that before. But why are you hiding it?
And I think Grace is like very taken aback by the situation. She's sort of like, no, yes. It's a simple ring with a gold band in the shape of a heart and a gem set in the center.
Do you say that's a
looks
Percival, or just
no,
what
no,
that's
that's what the ring looks like. No, she just says no, and then she says yes.
In how could something so small create such a huge reaction in you, Grace?
It was a gift. Well, I gave it to someone, and recently they gave it back to me.
In the back of Percival's mind, Chauncey mentioning the conversation between Ivy and Grace and how his name was not brought up during it floats back in. Why do you wear it if it causes you pain? Clearly it causes you pain.
Because I don't know what else to do with it.
Grace, I was so excited when I got your letter. I never thought in millions and millions of years that you would go to London with me. And while yes, it's very obvious that there is a standing proposal to you from me, I know, as I'm not a fool, that there is obviously someone else who has your heart. And I would never judge you if you were just to tell me. Because it doesn't seem like you... It seems like you're alone with it.
I think Grace sort of like, despite the I guess the beauty and formalness of the sort of setting, kind of like tucks her legs up on top of the chair and kind of like gives them a bit of a hug and kind of presses her lips together. Percival, I think you deserve to know the truth. But I'm afraid to tell you because I don't know what you'll do with it.
In what way? Do you think that I'm going to print a front page article about it?
No. I know you wouldn't do that. I worry you might despise me.
How long have we known each other? Years? At this point? Lifetimes?
I know. And she takes out the ring and she takes off the necklace and puts it on the table.
Percival looks at it and probably sees that gold band and the heart set, like all of it just kind of, and takes it in, doesn't touch it or reach for it, but just observes it. Who gave you? Well, you gave that to someone, you said?
Yes, I gave this to somebody who I love. And they gave it back to me. I feel that is the story in itself, is it not?
Well, I might be biased, but anyone who would give a ring back to you doesn't deserve you. But I know more than anyone that things aren't always so clear-cut. They're more abstract and painted in strokes, and this seems like one of those situations where that might be the case.
Grace sort of picks up the ring and kind of looks at it closely. I still don't understand it. Can affairs of the heart really change so quickly?
I've seen it, even with articles posting people who love each other one day, despise each other the next. But that also means that it could switch again. And that upset could also turn back into love, or just a lull in a lifetime.
I think this person will marry somebody else. You know, I have worked at Eaton Grange for quite some time. And everyone downstairs has always told me that everyone they've seen upstairs will cry and complain and make a fuss about it, but in the end, they will do what duty and money demands. Because those things speak loudly to them. It's how they have grown up, and it is all that they've known.
It's an awful system, which is why I know I push for it a lot, but I would love to print some of those things.
Well, don't talk about that now, Percival.
I know, but it's something too where it's the injustice of it all. Life is messy, and they pretend that it's not. And people get hurt, like you.
Well, I don't think I have anyone to blame but myself for this.
That you fell for someone, and that someone is going with the path that they're supposed to versus what their heart's telling them.
Yes. The heart is unwise, is it not?
Yes. I mean, from the books that we've both read and the stories people share, a lot of times it's just love is different to everyone, but I do think at the end it's got the same core. It's that person you feel safe with, that person that you know deep down is who you're supposed to be with. And when those two people meet and their lights intertwine and it just feels right, it's a shame that people deny that for the sake of duty.
Percival. I think you are my best friend. And I have great affection for you. And I do not believe what has been commonly said, that unless affections of the heart are painful, then they cannot be earnest. I know that I have asked you to give me more time, but I'm going to ask that one last time. Thomas is almost off to school. My time at Eaton Grange could come to a natural end. In the next few months, 3 months, I will give you an answer, and it will be final.
You know that I love you, Grace, and I will wait.
I don't want you to, yes.
I will say that I would much rather you be with the person you want to be with than just to be with me.
Oh, Percival. And I think if he will let her, she will take his hand.
Oh, he 100%.
Percival, you know me. You know what I'm like. If I accept your offer, it is not because I am choosing second best. I will only do if it is what I want.
I do know that about you, and if you are willing to put up with me for the rest of your life, I would be very content with that. But I've read so many books about love, and I want you to hopefully find that. And maybe in these next 3 months, you will find your happiest ending. And I will be okay with that, because you will be okay.
And I think that makes Grace start crying, because someone is being so amazingly nice to her, and this just hasn't happened in such a long time. And and away from the Grange and just in the freedom of the moment that she can let her guard down for a second. And so yeah, I think she just starts crying, but she's also laughing at the same time. You are too good. You are too good for this world, Percival. You are silly. You're people like you aren't meant to exist.
Oh, I am quite a catch, so I don't know why. No one else seems to see it, but I'm happy with where I am in my life, and I would love for you to be a part of that every day. But I am grown enough to understand, and I've read enough to understand that everything is not perfect. And sometimes you just look for those moments that are perfect. And right now, I think this moment is perfect. So I'm going to enjoy this time with you. And we'll see what happens in 3 months.
I think like Grace laughs and kind of like wipes the tears away from her face and says, "You're right. This moment is perfect, and I'll be damned if I leave this last sandwich uneaten."
And you don't need to worry if that falls out again. Put your necklace back on, and it's okay for you to be you with me.
She puts it back on. She does tuck it away though. And she gives his hand one last squeeze and then kind of smiles and, divides another couple of sandwiches up onto their plates.
Percival's grabbing the tea and like filling the cup back up and starts commenting on our surroundings and trying to shift this to the moment that we're in at right now.
Yeah, and I feel like it does, right? The vibe shifts back and it's just a sunny afternoon at Vauxhall Gardens. And then, it has to be like the sun starts to set and the flamethrowers like make an appearance and the jugglers and just like, and the reflection of the moon on the water. And that's where we leave them. And that's actually where we're going to end our episode today.
That was beautiful.
So
Nothing in the beginning was beautiful. We really I know that wasn't perfect, and it was like I feel so bad for them because 3 months, the whole thing is wild, but it was just so eloquent, you two. So thank you.
Yes, it was very beautiful. Thank you both, or thank you all of you. This episode was a strong one. Ooh, gotta turn my camera back on. And of course, we will all see you next week with the full entire cast. I know this episode is a little shorter than y'all probably expected, but we had a cast down and we have a little bit of a time limit on this one. So we want to first and foremost thank everyone for watching. We appreciate you all here, as well as we would like to do another thank you to our sponsor, which is Roll20. If you watch any of our shows and you are curious how we do all the maps and the dice rolling and all of that jazz, Roll20 is how we do so. So we have mad thank yous to them for helping support our lovely stories as we progress. But you can do different types of shows. It doesn't have to just be dice rolling. It can be card games. It can be board stuff, whatever you're looking for. And of course, if you would like to support us and you enjoy this story and you'd like to see more stories like this, the best way to support us is over on our Patreon. And not only are you supporting us, but you get some really cool rewards in return. Some of those are like our Ascension character sheet for Acolyte Bridget Rosenworth are available right now. And the stats for Sith are coming soon, as well as new Eaton Grange letters will be coming out on Friday, along with a little newspaper clip from our Chauncey. And of course, you can sub to us right here on Twitch and get access to the videos in advance, as well as our emotes. And if you're a YouTube member over on YouTube, you also get access to some of those emotes. And if you are a YouTube member, Twitch subscriber, or Patreon, you can get access to our private Discord where lots of juicy info goes down. So if you want to discuss and chat with us, head on over there and we'll gladly discuss things with you. We know not everyone can support us in a monetary means, so there's also ways to support us in non-monetary ways. We want you to focus on you first and foremost, and watching here live is one of the best ways, as well as making clips, because you can only do those live. It's very strange. And your clip could get featured on our social channels. Speaking of social channels, you can follow us over on Twitter and Facebook, like, share, retweet, and comment on all of the things, as well as watch over on YouTube, subscribe, like, and comment. All of those things go to helping the algorithm show more of our characters and our stories to the world, as we'd like to show those to people and have more people join the Roll4It family. And with that, I would like to let our cast tell you where you could find them at, because not only are they amazing talent here on Roll4It, but they also do a lot of wonderful things themselves. So first and foremost, we will toss it over to our facilitator, Storybrewers, who plays many characters, so many that I cannot list them on the overlay. So if you're like, what character is that? Just go with the flow. So Haley, where can people find you at?
Yeah, you can find me on Twitter at Storybrewers, or on Facebook as Storybrewers Roleplaying. And you can find this game and all the other games that we make at storybrewersroleplaying.com. So yeah, if you enjoy it, check it out.
All right. And next we have Chauncey Chimney and Agatha Crow, played by B. Where can people find you at when you are not, oh my goodness, overhearing everything and accidentally spilling things? I don't know.
I mean, oof. I really felt like this was the episode where it all came together, in the sense that it's all going to come apart really soon. So if that's the kind of thing that you're interested in, give me a follow on Twitter is at @B_Zelda. I'm a podcaster, a TTRPG streamer. I am the community manager for D&D Adventures League, and like so many more things. I don't even know what I do. I just look at my calendar and follow what it says.
I feel you so much on that vibe, because same. I'm like, if it's not on my calendar, it doesn't exist.
No, it can't possibly.
Next up, we have Ivy Stewart and Percival Blakely, played by Play Katie Play. Where can people find you when you're not stealing all of our hearts? We are swooning so hard here. I knew Percival would lay it on thick, but also I feel for Ivy so much.
Oh, just a little heartbreak today in a lot of different areas, but it's always fun to, I don't know. I'm so invested in everybody's drama. It's ridiculous. I'm Katie Peters Plays. You can find me on Twitch for fundraising for St. Jude this month, but we play a lot of sci-fi and horror games over there. I podcast as well. I have a podcast called Quantum Drive, which is about a TV show I love very much called The Orville.
Tell people who you just had on, which is really exciting.
We got to interview the cast. And so of The Orville, which is coming out very soon with season 3. I know. I never thought that'd be a thing. So our podcast is starting back up. So I'm very excited about that. And yeah, I kind of do the same thing where I follow my schedule and just land all over the place on the internet. So follow me on Twitter and Twitch and come hang out. Yeah, and I'm already looking forward to next week.
Yes, the next 2 episodes will be all of the cast. So if you are interested in checking that out, definitely tune in next week, because it's going to be a surefire tea spilling, drama, love, madness. So if romance, betrayal, all of that is your jam, well, this is the show for you. We will see you next week with another episode. And of course, we're off to record an after show, which you can get access to on our Patreon. So we'll see you on the flip side. Toodles.